Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Think of all that time. Every wait in the winter. All those hours no one else saw. Every sprint in the summer. Think of every sacrifice. Early mornings on the levee. Late nights in the film room. Bus rides to playoff games. Every bump in the road. Every moment of ecstasy. Every moment of doubt. Years wondering, is it all worth it? It's all led to this. Man, I got this. It's a 60-minute drive for a 60-minute game. After all the miles we've traveled, we're almost there. After all the hours we've worked, one more can make us legends. After all that time, this is our time. Caveman on the line. HG got the stats.
No filters, no suits, just facts on blast.
He seems like no nonsense guy. Like
re-emphasize that for the Saints fans out there on TikTok. Caveman. What did you just say?
The rebuild starts right now.
Marshawn
Lattimore's gone, so the defense, like we're not getting any better.
To the left, got the edge and grind. We break it all
Get it into
down
Smith.
like
What a pass! That's it! Dorian Smith with the game winner! Oh my goodness!
And that is why you have Aaron Fry pass the ball in.
We roar from the base to the backfield floor. No filters, no fake control. We
A real year. Like you have you have the best quarterback in the league, arguably, the best wide receiver in the league, and you've got the best edge rusher in terms of total sacks in the season. You're 4-7, and your playoff chances are hanging on by it.
HG on deck, stats loaded in primes. Reading the field.
Let's make it interesting.
We're making it interesting. Come on. Give us the freaking point.
Breaking down ball like a heat wave blade.
Oh, let's go! Oh, no. Put him in there. He's not put him in there.
We see through the hype. Call out the feed.
So don't you go saying that you're never going to see that. You're such a hater.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard, MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
For your
You are looking live at Till the Final Whistle, everybody. HG and Caveman in the house. And we had a pretty crazy weekend in football. NFL Week 7, NCAA football hit Week 8. Both of those are out of the way. But before we get into anything, we got to quickly update everybody on the two MBR leagues. First up, we got fantasy and the Cavemen dropping 161, coming out with team of the week against chicken dinner this week. He really was chicken dinner. And the Old Bay seasoning logo there, I got it right on top of my chicken dinner. Shout out Jahmyr Gibbs.
You carved him up. That was pretty nasty.
A.J. Brown had himself a week. Got 2 of his 3 touchdowns against Minnesota for me. Sutton going crazy, being that safety valve for Bo Nix in the fourth quarter. Addison went crazy, 130 yards from the guy. But let's take a look at the other teams around the league, because Mohawk, our boy that usually comes in on Wednesday, had a really, really rough week. Bro Nix had...
It's not looking good.
Yeah, it was just Bo Nix for him. 39.9 from Bo. Nobody else on Mohawk's team got above 10 points this week.
He's in dead last.
1-6. Got taken out by Joel's jackasses, who kind of had a down week as well. Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith, the saving grace for the jackasses this week.
This was our fantasy league's version of the Browns versus Dolphins.
It was rough. It was rough. We got a battle for second place right now. My dad and Jimmy both 5-2. Jimmy coming off a loss though to Holly, who again just has a really, really scary team. Caleb Williams only got her 4 points this week, but it's because that's just because Kyler Murray's her starter. And I mean, she's making the right move, getting Kyler Murray out the lineup.
Yeah.
John Taylor and Jamar Chase nearly getting her 80 points. Watch out for Holly's team.
She is like crushing mostly everyone but you in total points. She's got 945.
And a 4-3 record too. So it kind of shows that people are having their best weeks against Holly, and she's still coming out and putting more points up than you. It is pretty crazy. On the other hand, for me, some of my wins have been against your guys during your worst weeks. I played Jimmy when the Packers had the Browns. He's got Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs. He's got all the guys. So he only scored like 80 points that week. I pretty much got a free win.
Yeah, Jimmy's team is very dependent on whether the Packers do well or not.
Take a look at the standings. Cavemen in first at 6-1, which scares me. I had a team go 9-1 last year. I was 9-1. It was the last record I remember having before going into the playoffs. Lost both games in the first round. It was 0-2 in the first round of the playoffs. Bounced out. But Jimmy covers at 5-2. My dad, 5-2. They're tied for second right now. We got a 3-way tie for fourth with Holly, HG, and Tapes and CDs at 4-3. 3-way tie for seventh for a 3-2-5 teams. Chicken Dinner, Murphman, and Joel. And to round it out, Bro Nix at 1-6 down at the bottom. Still, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Fantasy football is a long season. That's why I'm worried still. I'm 6-1, but I'm worried.
I should be 5-2 right now. Mike Evans got hurt, and man, if I had just had like Lad McConkey in there instead, with how well JSN did on Monday night, I would have been all right. But I was like, all right, get Evans back for his return.
Looks like we got a call in right now. Let's go ahead and see who we got calling in. You're live until the final whistle.
You're live.
Who do we got speaking with?
Hey, this is Joe Bacino.
How's it going? Thanks for calling in.
Great. Sorry, I'm late. No, I had basically an appointment set up I had an appointment set up from 11 to 11:15. I'm sorry, I'm a little late. I was having a problem with my phone.
That is okay. We are going to get you sent into the right phone line. You are actually live on air on one of the shows. So we are going to get you set up with the right phone number real quick. We're actually expecting a call on today's show just a little bit later on. I thought that was our boy Scott calling in. But later on, we got Scott. Sneak preview. Scott Perry.
Oh, let's
go. Come and break down the Bronco game with us.
Our NFL historian.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he can probably tell us, just where that would rank all time and on craziest comebacks.
Pretty sure that's the Giants. It's like a bunch of wins and one loss is now the Giants losing by 19 points.
If I remember correctly, it's something like 1,620 when you're up 18 points with under 6 or less minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
Classic Giants, man.
Only them. Well, we also got our till the final whistle pick'em pool going. That's going strong right now. Jimmy covers, getting a bit of a cushion on everybody. He's got about 4-game lead now. He's up to 69, 38, and 1 on the season. Me and Mohawk are slightly behind him, both at 65, 42, and 1. H Train still going strong there in fourth place.
There we go, Joel.
At 64, 43, and 1. Caveman, you're right behind him in fifth place, 62, 45, and 1.
I need to have another one of those weeks. Like, I think it was week 5. Me and you almost got every game right.
Yeah. I had a really good start to this week. The primetime games, I had a chance to jump in the first, but I fumbled it in the primetime. I was on Tampa Bay, Atlanta. Those two killed me. Because if those go the other way, I'm where Jimmy's at, and he's more so where I'm at, or we'd be tied for first. Kyle joined a bit late, but he's still going strong, 54th and 37. Got a good win percentage there. And I think Lucas forgot to get his picks in this week because he's at 54, 39, and 1. So,
oh dang,
he'll be missing a week this week.
This is another one of those leagues, though. The marathon, not a sprint. You can have a pretty crazy week, get your win percentage up, and just jump like 3 or 4 people. Because I like to pick the upsets, and that's kind of what screws me. Oh. This is the same number calling in. I'm gonna go ahead and decline that one for now. It's the same number calling in.
Oh, poor guy. He's a little lost. Well, that's enough on the updates for our pick 'em pool and our fantasy league. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun though. It's been competitive. I gotta say, like Holly in this fantasy league, her team terrifies me. Especially now that Joe Flacco's there with Jamar Chase. She might go on a run and win the whole thing.
It's really a fitting name. She's Holly's terrifying team. That is the randomly generated ESPN fantasy name that he gave her. But it couldn't have been more right.
She's got a very terrifying team.
Stay tuned for more to come on that fantasy league playoffs. And as you know, it goes 2 weeks in ESPN. So we'll be playing against each other for 2 weeks in a row, add up the total points. So really you can make a Broncos-like comeback in some of these fantasy football playoff games. But we're going to get to that one in just a moment because I'm a sad Saints fan. My team got blanked. So we're going to start in the NCAA. Carson Beck throwing 4 picks. I was talking to my friend who's a Raiders fan, and I'm messing with him, telling him that the Raiders are going to pick Carson Beck. The night after, he just threw 4 picks. He's like, man, I've seen enough of that from Gino already. So
he doesn't need it. Yeah, that's me where we start on our top 25 rundown. Friday night, Louisville came to play, went down to Miami, and came out victorious, kicked the ball away a bunch. Chris Bell is an absolute menace out there, too. We have 136, 2 touchdowns. Louisville, man, that's a scary football team there in the ACC. Told you all they were good. And that makes that, Virginia's victory over them looks even better off of that. Conversely, on Friday night, we said last week on the show, Nebraska overrated, probably didn't deserve to be ranked. And they come out and just get blanked by Minnesota. They lose that game 24-6. A newly ranked top 25 team, Cincinnati Bearcats, on the road at Oklahoma State. Didn't matter. They just blew the doors off the Cowboys 49-17, 21 points in the second and fourth quarters. Memphis getting their first loss of the season to a UAB team that had just fired Trent Dilfer as their head coach. And they were 23.5-point home dogs. And they come out with the 31-24 victory. Their largest, or their largest, the same number?
It is. But I think he realized that he's calling the same number.
That's their, but this is their, biggest win as underdogs. Like that was the largest line as an underdog they've ever won as in program history. So something nice from there. Texas, man, it feels like Kentucky gets into one of these games every year with like a ranked SEC school where they host, that team comes in there and gets into an absolute rock fight with them. Longhorns do come out on top 16-13. South Florida hosting the Florida Atlantic Owls. No problem for USF. They blow the doors off them 48-13. Virginia, man, what's up with the Washington State Cougars? They've been taking some good teams to the limit here. The Cavaliers just barely escape with a 20-20 or 22-20 win over Washington State. Missouri going into Jordan Hare Stadium rather, to play the Auburn Tigers. Another one of those gritty, grinded out classic SEC matchups. Wasn't the best game from Bo Pribla, but they do get the 23-17 win in overtime. The Holy War, one of the greatest rivalries in college football. Everyone got the best name for sure. This one goes to BYU. Just a great, really defensive battle for a lot of this game. But then with plenty of offensive highlights mixed into it. But the Cougars get that 24-21 victory. Really popped off in the fourth quarter, 14 points apiece by each team. All right.
Played a good game.
Yeah.
We love to see it.
Oklahoma, Mateer looking a little healthier, didn't throw for a ton of yards, but he protected the football, did what they needed to do to get the job done. Sooners get a 26-7 victory over the Gamecocks. Notre Dame versus USC. A big game for both programs, really, but more so for Notre Dame, looking to stay alive in that college football playoff race.
They needed this win.
Needed a win against a ranked opponent. Jeremiah Love went off 228 on the ground in the touchdown. And it was really the tandem of him and Price.
This guy is senior this year.
Love, I think so.
He's a junior this year. Man.
I do think he's draft eligible, though. Because they were saying, his draft stock is shooting way up. The Irish get a 34-20 victory over the Trojans. All right, Georgia Tech going in to play a tough Duke Blue Devils team. Wasn't always pretty, but they got it done and come out of there powered by 17 fourth quarter points with a 27-18 victory over the Blue Devils.
Undefeated.
Yep. All right, Vandy hosting the number 10 ranked LSU Tigers. And LSU, about time to put them on fraud watch, but Vanderbilt on the other side, good football team there. The dual threat ability of Diego Pavia was just too much for the Tigers in this one. 31-24, Vandy wins. Oregon on the road playing Rutgers, looking to rebound after blowing one at home to Indiana. And they took some frustration out on the Scarlet Knights. And this one was, basically could have called it all over by halftime. But 56-10 is your final in that one. Good rebound win for the Ducks. Texas Tech going in to play a tough Sun Devils team on the road. Arizona State had their quarterback back, and they came to play. crazy ending to this game. It was 19-7, with less than 5 minutes to go, and then all of a sudden, Texas Tech's back on top, but the Sun Devils get a last-minute drive going, score a touchdown, win this game 26-22. All right, Alabama, one of the best team in the SEC. I'm saying it.
No, they definitely are. They
4
definitely are.
straight victories against ranked opponents. That ties a school record, an SEC record, and 37-20, pretty dominant win over an explosive Tennessee team. Another great matchup between two top 15 SEC schools, Ole Miss and Georgia. The Bulldogs defend their home stadium. A fourth quarter shutout helps them come from behind to get a 43-35 victory and hand the Rebels their first loss of the season. Now we're getting into the top four. Texas A&M got into a shootout on the road with Arkansas, who's got a really great offense. I won't put it past them. A really fun quarterback prospect there. But the Aggies do stay 7-0 and get a 45-42 victory over the Razorbacks. Indiana hosting Michigan State took care of business, dominant fashion with a 38-13 win. And Ohio State, the number one team in the country, goes on the road to Wisconsin in the Badger House. Didn't matter. Shut them out and blew them out 34-0. Okay, man. That's our rundown of the top 25. Where do we start?
Let's go into this Louisville game because that is definitely one team to watch out for. ACC going from unranked now to 19th in the country, definitely adding their names into the conversation now. 5-1, 2-1 in the conference. It throws a wrench into what was really looking like a for sure playoff run for Miami, just cruise into the conference championship.
Casts some pretty big doubts too on just how good this team might actually be and how good Carson Beck might be, because this was, they were just trying to give Louisville every opportunity to win this game too, with all the turnovers. Beck looked pretty uncomfortable back there against the Louisville pass rush.
Miami's defense did a good job keeping this one within one possession. Miami did have the last opportunity to score, but it was just Beck's fourth interception that sealed it. They got themselves in a position late in this game to tie it up or win it. And I think, the question does ask, because it was an easy route. Really threw an underneath slant a little bit too early, and the corner jumped the route.
Yeah.
Dove and picked it.
It was like at that point, you're like, all right, like Carson Beck, now he's missing the easy stuff. Like you could tell he was rattled, man. Like all the mistakes and everything kind of got into his head about it and just missed a simple throw like that. We do got to keep the Hurricanes' other wins, in mind. Beat a good Notre Dame team. Beat Florida and Florida State pretty handily. Handled South Florida, who's looking like the best Power 5 team out there. So sometimes it is possible that you just have a bad game. And that could be just what happened here for Miami. But it's just something to kind of keep in the back of your mind with this team. We'll see where if we go look at their schedule here, their next real test for the rest of the season. I'd almost say that maybe they don't have one. Maybe going on the road to SMU or on the road to Pitt could be challenging.
Yeah.
So we might not know what Miami team we're getting going into the CFP until the ACC championship, because I think there's a good chance that they still make it. It's a pretty easy schedule for the rest of the way. You'd like to see like them just get back on track and focused and just kind of dominate their way towards that, and some just convincing, well put together wins that look like a team that's ready to go into the college football playoff. And on the other side, man, Louisville here, like Miller Moss is he's having a pretty good season,
Bouncing back from
getting
pretty
benched at USC.
Yeah, going to a new place, finding some hope. I mean, maybe it was the right move for both teams because now you got USC and got Louisville seeing some success with the new guy starting.
I really like this receiver, Chris Bell, man. I think he should be climbing on some draft boards for sure. I think he's only a junior. No, he is a senior. Okay. So probably his last year. But yeah, he was really Moss's go-to guy. When he needed a reception in the big spot, it was Chris Bell and Isaac Bruce on the ground really answering the call there. So the Cardinal, this could be we could be looking at a crash course to see Miami and Louisville back in it for that conference championship. We'll see who the Cardinals still got to come here, because I won't write off Virginia. They're looking pretty good as well. Louisville, you got Boston College, you got Virginia Tech, California, Clemson, SMU, Kentucky. Really, another team that might not lose another game. So, two teams that could very well be seeing each other again. How will that game be a different outcome?
I think another team that's going to change up a lot in their conference is Indiana, man. Still undefeated right now, and they jumped up after the Miami loss. They're now the second-ranked team in the country. And looking at the rest of their schedule, before we get into their game against Michigan State, they got UCLA, Maryland, Penn State, Wisconsin, and Purdue. Indiana really just has kind of just this yellow brick road built in front of them, unranked teams that they can just finish their season undefeated.
They definitely got through the tougher part of their schedule, and I would pretty dominant fashion. That crushed Illinois at home, got out of Iowa, which is just a weird place to play with that defense, but they got out of there with the victory. Go into Oregon, pretty convincing 10-point win there, and then Michigan State is just a team that has the capability to be to generate a lot of explosives, and so it's a team that could definitely catch you off guard, but they didn't let that happen and dominated them there. And so now I do really like what's going on with the new guy there at UCLA. He's got that team playing a different type of football, so they do seem pretty energized. So that UCLA game could kind of be a trap game. Just what's that new coach's name?
Let me click on UCLA real quick here.
I can't
find out.
I can never remember his name. But he's the son of a famous UCLA alum and everything too.
Let's see. But this definitely could be a trap game. This is still a pretty good roster. They got Nico over from Florida State, or not Florida State, Tennessee. Sorry about that. Jalen Berger, pretty solid running back. Carlson's pretty solid for him. It's a pretty good team. But Indiana got to prove all the doubters wrong after last year. This is somebody that one team that we really didn't think was going to have this spectacular of a season.
Right. Well, I
to
remember
start out.
we were saying, they might get exposed later on, but this is I think a miles better Indiana team than the one last year too.
After the win against Oregon, I think that sealed the deal. They even lost a lot of guys to the draft. They got a new quarterback. Curtis Rourke went out to the draft. I'm pretty sure he's no longer with them. They had a lot of guys move on. So this is a completely new unit for them as well.
Right. And what my favorite part about them is I really like their defensive front. I think like they get super active, sacking the quarterback, just generating a lot of pressure and enabling their secondary to make a lot of plays.
Mendoza's draft stock skyrocketing. He's a junior this
Oh yeah,
year.
he's looking like a top 5
he'll be
quarterback
eligible.
in the country.
1,700 yards, 21 touchdowns, 2 picks, and he's top 5 right now in his QBR at 87. Been extremely well. Every game, pretty much over 250 yards, except for against Iowa and Oregon. It's probably the toughest defense they play, but still over 200 yards and a passing touchdown in that game. Their offensive line is what's really insane.
Well, and he's tied for first place in the country in passing touchdowns too. Just another note there, while only having 2 interceptions.
It's only taken 5 sacks on the year as well. They're doing an amazing job at keeping him protected and just letting him sling it. And they're going to be one team to look out for. This is definitely a season we're seeing a lot of change, but I think the better teams, it's looking like last year, Penn State was pretty high ranked, ended up getting taken out by Notre Dame in the playoff. They met their match eventually, but it feels like a lot of these teams that we're coming back to some of them just looking like powerhouses. Like the SEC schools, I don't feel like it's going to be a fleece come to the end of the season if a lot of SEC schools are in this playoff.
Oh, for sure.
Because there's
a lot of good ones. They were gone for a year, but they're back.
We're seeing classic SEC football games again in this conference play. Been one of the more exciting conferences to watch because they're all so good.
And I feel like it's also been like a lot of chaos, and there's been a good amount of upsets, and just like doesn't feel like anybody's really safe. Like even in these matchups where you're like, oh, this team should come out with a win here. It's just not. You're just never safe. And like this is like again another week where you have multiple top 10 teams losing, changing places, and like some of that's the other ranked teams but some of it's the unranked teams, and it's just this has been a great year for the carnage and chaos. I'll just leave it at that.
Only one remaining undefeated SEC school. That's Texas A&M. Aggies up top. Alabama right behind them though. Man, if they had a matchup this season, that would be pretty insane. The Bama though, I think we should go to that game next. They got a chance to continue their streak in a couple weeks because they still got to play LSU and Oklahoma. South Carolina no longer ranked in the top 25, so they could have had a pretty insane stretch of 7 straight ranked opponents. Could have possibly gone 7 straight wins in a row. But they got a chance to get 6 if LSU and Oklahoma stay in the top 25 in the next 2 weeks. Alabama has a chance to be in there. But they're in the top 5. As we kind of predicted they should be last week.
And very deservingly so. The way you would be winning against these top ranked schools and just to do it consistently. I mean, right now they're looking like the best team in the SEC. The defense is playing fantastic. They're doing a good job of just generating turnovers and being just generally disruptive overall. I think Simpson, top 3 quarterback in the country, man. He's just He's very surgical back there. He protects the football. Not like a super crazy game from him, but like watching this one, like it was just like when they needed a big time throw, he would like
He's
deliver
there.
time after time after time. Like that's like sometimes in these games, like you don't really need a guy to be slinging it all over the field, but when you really need a big time throw, can he step up and deliver? And can't forget about like Ryan Williams is that exciting sophomore, just a he's a beast. And Jeremy Bernard, man, he's been a nice little transfer addition there for the Tide. Those two are a great 1-2 combination.
On the other side of the ball in this game, though, shout out to the Tennessee offensive line to at least get your boy Deshaun Bishop 14 carries, 123 yards on the ground. Some great blocking, at least from them, right? Could be seeing a lot of Tennessee offensive linemen going in these upcoming NFL drafts.
Right.
I mean, pretty solid unit.
If Tennessee was able to get out to a better start, they got off to a really slow start. You can see they were down 23-7 at halftime.
Yeah.
And they were running the ball pretty well. And if their defense didn't play too great in this one, a lot of penalties too that either helped out the Bama offense early or hindered the promising drives early for Tennessee. And I think if this game would have stayed closer for longer, Tennessee would have had a really good shot to run it, because that was where Bama was kind of struggling to stop them was in the run. They were getting good push up front, but you can't. They were okay giving up 5, 6, 7 yards of carry and just dropping back and not letting you get the deep play. And whenever Aguilar had to throw it, he was solid. 1 touchdown to 1 interception. But just it wasn't working out super well for this Tennessee offense.
Yeah, forced Alabama's offense got such a good lead in that first half that it was just on the defense at the end to force Joey Aguilar to beat us with his arm. They weren't able to really do it because they got great push up front. 123 yards on 14 carries is insanely efficient. 2 touchdowns, 8 yards of carry. If they were able to start this game off a little better, and we might be seeing a different story with Alabama. But the Crimson Tide, just a well-coached team with DeBoer. I'm gonna keep saying it. I think
people were calling for his job after he lost to FSU.
I think they figured out their offense now with Ty Simpson instead of Jalen Milroe. I still like Jalen Milroe, but this just wasn't really a fit last year from what we saw. Just the style of play, style of quarterbacks between Simpson and Milroe.
Well, I do want to really quickly just cover something on this the only undefeated team in the SEC now, the Texas A&M Aggies, who got into a shootout with Arkansas. Some concerns over the run defense, because that was where Arkansas was killing them. The QB runs and just on the ground in general. 32 carries for 268.
Gosh.
Right. And then A&M had their own success on the ground, though. They 35 carries for 217, 3 touchdowns. So we're, that obviously giving them 42 to the Razorbacks isn't great, but I'm thinking about where they stack up. I mean, in the secondary, they're still pretty good. And I'm seeing these other top SEC teams like Bama and Georgia don't have the greatest running games, which might, that's been as good as those teams have been. They haven't really, they're solid on the ground, but they don't really, you don't feel super threatened by them. So something interesting that might keep the Aggies in here, and it could just really be a bad week on their defense for them. You kind of are on the road. And This Razorbacks offense is definitely fired up. They got the home crowd behind them, and it's just tough. Like an athletic guy like Taylor Green, it's just really tough to key in on him.
And Arkansas has got a pretty legit wide receiver one. I think his draft stock's definitely going to be going up. Omega Blake, 42 receptions, 582 yards, and 4 touchdowns. I mean, his stats are pretty crazy. He was really 6 receptions a game, pretty much, and then about 65 yards a game. So he's a pretty nasty route runner. Their last 5 games have been a loss, but he's been the most efficient guy in the offense.
And he was
most of them.
The guy giving A&M the most problems on Saturday too.
Yeah, it looks like Will Lee was guarding him. Will Lee only got 1 pass deflection, 6 solo tackles, and our boy Omega had 7 receptions for 118 yards and a touchdown. So I think Will Lee might have just had a tough day against Omega Blake, who definitely could be going up in the draft stock. One of those late sneaky round receivers that kind of blows up. We'll see what happens though.
Definitely keeping it on the SEC. Vanderbilt Commodores taking down the LSU Tigers. And team, I mean, for 31-24 score, that really came off of just, some momentum swings given some short fields. Because I mean, really, these teams were grinding it out against each other. Like doesn't make it seem like it was as defensive as a game as it really was in this one.
These are 2 teams that win it at the point of attack. These are 2 teams that are just gritty, classic running teams. Because Garrett Nussmeier just can't throw the ball. That's why LSU runs. Diego Pavia, more of a run first quarterback. So their style of offense is going to be more geared towards that.
I'll have to say, Pavia's got a solid arm and everything, but again, he's a bit too wild and inconsistent as a passer. And when he's got his legs, I mean, I can see why. Yeah, they lean heavily on the rush attack there. I mean, they put the ball on the ground 45 times. Now, Pavia recorded 17 of those carries for 86 yards and 2 touchdowns in this one. And then, surprisingly, LSU really didn't run the ball a whole lot. Only 21 attempts by them. They did let Nussmeier throw it, and he was pretty efficient, 19-28. Wasn't really too great at pushing the ball down the field, only 225 in this one. 2 touchdowns, didn't turn it over.
That's the issue here, is that they kind of steered away from the running game and wanted to pass, but they got Nussmeier on this leash because he just can't throw the ball down the field. But 19 for 28 still somehow only has a 67 QBR because all 19 of those completions were 5 to 10 yards. Anything else further than that is an incomplete pass. It's like they're having so much trouble when you have a really solid wide receiver group. Trades Green, Xavier Thomas, Barrion Brown, all those guys are nasty. It's just the issue, I think, is the quarterback play. Not being able to make those throws down the field. You got guys that are vertical threats. They need the ball downfield. When we're just forcing vertical threat speed and like guys with clean route running to just go have backyard out routes, slants, leak out into the flat, screens, your offense is going to be boring, and you're constantly going to be behind the sticks too, especially in the SEC, because their fronts are going to get after you.
They stayed too conservative through this one, I believe. It was working for them in the first half. They were right there with Vandy. I believe it was 17-13 at halftime. But the Commodores put together a couple of really good third quarter drives that ballooned their lead a bit, and LSU just wasn't quite. They just didn't want to get. They didn't get more aggressive, and try to do some quick strikes and try to get down the field. It just didn't feel like that was. They still wanted to try to slow play it and be careful with it, and it just wasn't really working for them.
It's just too careful. Like if we want to really see if Garrett Nussmeier can get it done, man, let's force him to make a layered throw. Let's force him to step up in the pocket and throw a shot down the field to one of his guys. Like we got to take the leash off of him. There's only one way to find out if he's got it, and that's not by just having him throw checkdowns and slants all day.
No, it is not. We're going to be keeping it in the SEC here. Our last big matchup before we move out of the conference, and that is Ole Miss and Georgia.
What a game, dude.
Kirby Smart versus Lane Kiffin, always a classic there. Chambliss, another good performance out of him. Didn't throw any picks, was having some problems completing it through the air. He did end up with 263 yards. Nearly lost the fumble, but he was able to protect the ball pretty well for the most part.
They really faced up against probably the craziest defense. They swarm. They just swarm to the ball.
And it was, when this game was in the first half, and you were a little more comfortable letting Chambliss throw it, and put up some points. Everything was going all right for Ole Miss. But then the inaccuracy and some of the struggles to get the ball moving through the air, that started showing up here late in this, late third into the fourth quarter. And then they just all game, they never really were able to get a running game going. I mean, they got it close. They'd run it in 4 rushing touchdowns, but only 88 total yards as a team to show for it. And then conversely, while nobody on Georgia had a massive game or on their own, 221 yards as a team in 49
that was
attempts.
Backfield by committee, they call it.
Right. I mean, you got
it done.
You have receivers coming around on jet sweeps or motioning into the backfield. Nate Frazier, Chancey Bowens, kind of back the two-headed monster, both taking shifts back there. Gunnar Stockton also doing it with his legs. I think, though, this was just a super impressive game for him through the air, because a lot of that rushing yards that came earlier where they were really committed to running the football. But Ole Miss did get up to a bit of a lead. It was 35-26 going into the fourth quarter, right? So you're down 9, and you really had to get some things going. And when they were leaning on Stockton more, he was throwing the ball really well. He was super accurate and just hogging all the touchdowns in this one, man. He had all 5 scores, 4 of them through the air, 1 on the ground. Well over 250 scrimmage yards.
He at least gave his boy, the tight end Lawson Lucky, his first 3 touchdowns on the year. His only touchdowns on the year in this game.
Right. Yeah, he was just feeding him in the red zone, really. So, yeah, for Ole Miss, obviously the tough loss here that's for him. Some missed opportunities late in this one to maybe put Georgia on ice or something like that. But you can't feel too bad about it. I mean, you played a pretty good game there in Athens. Just gotta, work on finishing these games a little stronger. But on the flip side, Georgia, man, that's still a very dangerous team. If Stockton can play the way he played in this game, every game, it'll be really hard to beat Georgia.
Because they got the defensive line to keep you off the field. You just end your drives.
And the Georgia, even when they don't have like a great game in terms of scoring defense, it's just like making a big play and being disruptive at a big moment is where they really thrive. I mean, they didn't force any turnovers, didn't have any sacks, but we're able to generate some negatives just in the run game. Big pass deflections or like pressures that affected the throw just in some really big moments that were able to give their offense another shot there.
I found that coach. So it's the son of ESPN reporter Chris Mortensen. It's Alex Mortensen. That's the head coach at UAB.
That took over for Dilfer?
Yeah. Chris Mortensen is his dad.
Yeah, that was a big upset for them. You know, we could real quickly just jump into that game and talk about that because Memphis was again huge road favorites. Previously undefeated team in the American. UAB was 2-4. Season was spiraling a bit. They were 0-3 in conference play, and yeah, they came out inspired. Iverson Hooks. I mean, Memphis had absolutely no answer for him in this one. He 11 catches, 172, and 3 touchdowns. And I love the Solomon Beebe's stat line as well because on just 5 carries, he managed to put up 106 yards and a touchdown. A lot of that assisted by an 81-yard run. You know, they went back to him a few other times after that. You know, it would make sense. So, averaging a dynamite 21.2 yards per carry.
That was UAB's first ranked win since, let me pull this back up here. I believe it said December of 2021. They beat number 18 BYU. First ranked win in 4 years for UAB. And they were able to do it in one of the really challenging times in their program, going through a pretty hard transition, firing your coach, getting a new guy in at the last minute. But everybody stayed composed. And Mortensen with some good leadership of the group, man. Getting a good win. As for Memphis, I mean, they still could probably win the conference. I mean, there's not really anyone else in that American that is going to really be keeping up with them except for South Florida. It's kind of going to be those two teams.
Don't
sleep on Tulane.
North Texas or Tulane, yeah.
Navy still undefeated.
I like what Tulane's got there. Jake Redsloff transferred over there after leaving BYU. I think Tulane's got a pretty solid team. They're fun to watch.
This win from UAB though, shout out to the Blazers because they got another wrench thrown into the scenario where we're seeing that teams in these conferences, is unbeaten squads are beatable, even though they do look like they're powerhouses, man. Well, what do you say we go on a quick music break here, HG, so I can plug in my laptop on the charger, and we can remind all of our viewers about our upcoming events and sponsorships. We got Wreaths Across America. That QR code's up right now. If anyone would like to purchase a wreath, you get to customize it for your own veteran family member that you're getting it for. You're going to, basically for a remembrance of that person, remember their service and thank them for it. You can check out that QR code there at the top, and you'll be able to check those out. I believe they're $17. We've also got on the 25th, Battleground Pro Wrestling will be coming to Greeley, Colorado again. And we've got those tickets up here for sale as well on that one. But we will be right back, everybody, to continue some more college football breakdowns for the next 30 minutes or so. A lot of top 25 matchups ahead of us. And then we can get right into the hot NFL Week 7 Broncos' historic comeback. I know HG's over there
reeling.
He's waiting.
Brought the Bo Nixon for it. We'll be back, folks.
I wish there was some place that I could go where I got the promise to never be alone. These bars all have last call and my friends, they ain't home. I wish there was some place that I could go with a heartache this big, a bottle this small. I don't think I'm ready to deal with it all. I need a 24-hour heartbreak saloon where they never have last call and play country tunes. When she walked out of my life, I nearly broke down, drowning my heartache in every bar in this town. Sooner or later, they all closed the doors, and I was left playing guitar at home on the floor with a heartache this big, a bottle this small. I don't think I'm ready to deal with it all. I need a 24-hour heartbreak saloon where they never have last call and play country tunes. With a heartache this big, a bottle this small. I don't think I'm ready to deal with it all. I need a 24-hour heartbreak saloon where they never have last call and play country tunes. Yeah, they never have last call and play good old tunes.
Penalty on YOU. Delay of game. 5 seconds before the show. But hey, thanks for watching.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
You are looking live at Till the Final Whistle, everyone. Give Caveman just a second. My laptop died before we went on break, so I wasn't able to get my camera back on.
All right.
But we got up close and personal with HG for just a few moments.
It's just us, folks.
But hey, what top 25 matchup are we going into next, HG? What do you got?
I mean, it's got to be the oldest one in all of sports, that Notre Dame USC game.
I love it.
Had to have it here for the Irish. And I mean, a struggle bus really for their true freshman quarterback, CJ Carr. He was okay.
There he is.
Well, I wouldn't even say okay. I mean, he was 136, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He was. I mean, they just could not get the passing game going.
It's a Julian Love show over there in Indiana.
Yeah, Jeremiah Love, him and Jadarian Price. I mean, those guys put the team on their back. It was just explosive run after explosive run. When it was all said and done, 44 carries as a team for Notre Dame, 37 of those coming from Love, and 306 yards on the ground. But a couple of negative run plays. So it was really more like 313 yards on 37 carries between those two.
Yeah. Man, that's insane.
That's maybe the best tandem of backs in all of college football. I mean, those guys are both high-end starters
easily
on every team.
But sorry, Jeremiah. Julian Love, defensive back on the Seahawks. Jeremiah Love, Notre Dame legend, going in, just draft stock rising up. I think we might see a pretty crazy draft pick with a running back. We might see another one.
Yep.
We see another Ashton Genty pick. Who knows?
Well, the way Genty's been playing this year, I don't know if teams are gonna.
Yeah, they might be afraid.
It's not even his fault too, which is that's the messed up part. But that's the Raiders' offensive line just sucks. You're terrible. But back to this game, USC. I mean, what killed them was the turnovers, because this is like the top ranked offense in the country. All right, they average 530 yards per game. They average 326 through the air. And they're one of the top rushing offenses. They're like just outside the top five. So, and Notre Dame, again, good defensive team, but USC was moving the ball pretty well in this one. I mean, they had a good number of yards. 396 total yards of offense here. Not a ton rushing, but it was just, and I mean, they were such a clean game in the penalties. They only had 1 penalty for 5 yards. Notre Dame had 8 for 96. They were better on third down, 6 of 14 to the Irish, being 3 of 11. Only ever so slightly outgained, little bit less time of possession. But it was multiple promising drives that ended in turnovers, drives where I was fully convinced, they were going to score. There was a bit of an, Mayava on second down kind of forced a pass that he didn't need to. That was an interception. Another one, he sailed the ball in the red zone, got that picked off at the goal line. Makai Lemon, who was really fantastic in this one, did have a fumble. Him and Jacoby Lane, though, big part of the offense. Mayava's 2 favorite targets in this, along with Tanu Kynes. So USC really had a lot of opportunities to win this, and with how much Notre Dame was struggling to throw the ball through the air, if they could have been able to protect the football a lot better, I think they probably win this game. Because right now, or in this game, they let Notre Dame just let their 2 backs
just carve them up,
carry the
carve
offense
them up all day long.
You didn't need to throw the ball a whole lot. Your freshman quarterback was struggling, and you're able to let your 2 star running backs take the load off for him, and help carry this team towards a victory.
It's gonna hurt him later on in the standings for the Big Ten, because there's a lot of other teams that with a 5-2 record right now and only 1 conference loss. Oregon, Northwestern up there, they're actually the 4th ranked team in the Big Ten. 5-2 Northwestern.
Northwestern, they're 5-2.
They're 5-2.
Huh? Look at that, Northwestern, man.
Crazy.
I almost always just kind of, by instincts, just write them off before the season even starts.
Yeah, it's like the one team you never even think
And
about having a good
that's
year.
a
Here they
school
are.
that, they're a D1 program, but that's an academic school,
Yeah, they're pretty close to, like, if you could be a Division I school in athletics, they not athletics and just your academics.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Well, look at that, Northwestern. How about that?
They're proving us wrong, right? This season, man.
I mean, takeaway for USC is that at least it wasn't another conference loss.
Yeah, that's nice for them.
Yeah, I do believe they got kicked out of the top 25 because of this loss. Did they not?
Let's see.
Yeah, they did.
Yes, they did. And the rest of their games coming up, it doesn't really look like they have too much of a chance to get back into it unless they beat Oregon or Northwestern.
Yeah,
but then again, they got a kind of a tough schedule. Nebraska has the same record as them. Northwestern has the same record as them.
No, Nebraska's overrated. They'll beat Nebraska.
They'll probably steamroll Nebraska, considering what happened with.
I mean, yeah, Iowa's always a little weird. They can be tough to play. Got to go to Oregon. Yeah, I mean, Northwestern's apparently rolling. UCLA, there's a bit of a rivalry in that game there. So it's
considering where everyone's ranked at right now, the rest of their games, except for this Nebraska one, even though it's in Nebraska, you're looking at some tough games. The UCLA to end the season, they might be trying to play spoiler on your chances at something. And that's a trap game in itself.
Maybe they need one more win for bowl eligibility. I could see something like that being at play here. So you know what?
Watch out.
Lincoln Riley in the big game strikes again. We'll leave it at that.
They better hope they can bounce back in this Nebraska one because they looked pretty awful against Minnesota. They didn't even get to score a touchdown. Raiola only 177 yards. What's the consensus on him? Sophomore, he's still got some time left in college, but from what everyone, I feel like people are already writing this kid off.
I mean, he's really corny with all the Mahomes impersonation stuff. That does kind of get on my nerves. It's just goofy, but he's a solid player at quarterback. I think he'll get better. Probably, I kind of see him. He'll probably do maybe 3 more years of playing college football, and he could be by the time it's all said and done, like a guy that you're looking at with a second round pick potentially, maybe a late first.
Yeah.
I certainly I see the, I see the mold of what could be a good quarterback. So we'll see how he. Who's the OC over there? It's Matt, or not the OC, the head coach Matt Rule.
Yeah, they have Matt Rule.
See if he can develop him nicely.
They can't even win these games against Minnesota, let alone anytime they get matched up against a top 25 opponent. They can't even get the win there either.
Nebraska's been kind of washed as a powerhouse school for a while.
It's rough.
They're far removed from their glory days of being national title contenders. Maybe they'll get back there at some point, but I'm not waiting around on that to happen.
Let's see who Minnesota plays for the rest of the year because they got 9 sacks in this game. They got after Dylan Raiola. Part of the reason why he had such a rough game, dude was under siege.
That was another thing with why I thought Nebraska was kind of overrated. I'm like, I don't think that's a very good offensive line, Yeah. They don't seem to have a whole lot of great chemistry. They're not like like obviously their alignments, so you're not looking for a ton of athleticism, but like some of them, like it almost feels like they got none. It's just like it'd be easy to beat them with power and or speed. It's just they don't hold up well in pass protection.
Minnesota has a chance to have a pretty solid year too. They're rolling at 5-2. Got to go to Iowa this weekend, but they got Michigan State after that. Then they have a chance to jump in the rankings, going to Oregon in the middle of November, and then Northwestern and Wisconsin to end the year. But they got a chance to jump up in the rankings too, and they got a pretty solid defensive line. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens with the Golden Gophers. That's another team you kind of just write off at the beginning of the year. There's a lot of teams in the Big Ten where you can kind of just be like, yeah, they're probably gonna have pretty mid to terrible season.
Right. Just with all the like how top heavy it gets up there, you don't even really. Sometimes you forget to consider these guys, and it's like, will they come out of nowhere and win the Big Ten now? But like, you gotta be happy for them that they're putting together a good season, and get to go. They'll get to go to a pretty, if they can finish the season strong, go to a high quality bowl game. One of the fancier ones. All right, I've been dying to get to this game because it was just cinema. The Holy War was, it delivered. Like the stakes, you could tell were high. The atmosphere, it was great. There was there was a plethora of big plays on both sides of the ball. And BYU, man, that's a sick offensive line because it's just like, it's coming. Like, that they're BYU's probably running this football. They're probably running it up the middle, and it still works.
They don't even care.
They're still averaging like almost 5 yards a carry. Like it.
Simple strategy of run it till they can stop it.
I don't know what the final number on this was, but it was like through the third quarter they had a graphic that it was like of their like 30 something runs, like 33 runs, like 24 of them were up the middle. They had like 2 to the right and like 5 or 6 to the left. It was just like they were running it up the gut every time. Utah knew it was coming. They just couldn't stop them. Cougars got a sick defensive line. Chase Roberts, just kind of quiet game from him because they weren't really throwing it a whole lot. Again, smart coaching. You have Bear Brockmeyer throw it. Try not to have him throw it a bunch and let him use his legs more. Give him and LJ Barton 37 carries between the two of them.
Gosh.
Yeah. 202 yards as a team. Martin and Bachmeyer accounted for about 186 of those yards.
Holy crap.
So, it's like that was the craziest part about BYU's offense is it's like Utah, like, they knew like who there was on like any given play, there was a pretty good chance that either Bachmeyer or LJ Martin was just going to run it right up the middle, and they couldn't stop it. They couldn't stop it for the most part, especially not in the fourth quarter. As I mentioned, though, both teams putting up 14 points there. It was really just defensive and grinded out all game. It was 10-7 at half. The first and third quarters were completely scoreless. So odd quarters, nobody even scored in there. You had, excuse me, sorry, a couple of fumbles for BYU that probably cost, that forced them or cost them some scoring opportunities for sure. And that was just overall the big difference in this game because both teams were pretty evenly matched. It was, struggles on third and fourth down, like 5 for 12 for BYU, 3 for 12 for BYU, 5 for 12 for Utah. Utah was 1 of 5 on fourth down. They had a lot of turnovers on downs too.
Man,
Despite that, they still have 470 yards of total offense.
my God.
But they
This is a
again,
game right here.
like BYU was, I mean, they got outgained they got outgained by almost 100 yards, but they didn't commit the penalties and the turnovers. And sometimes it's just as simple as that, because really Utah was a bit more explosive, was able to generate some more explosives or just longer plays. I mean, like BYU just hold on to the ball for so long, just running it up the middle for the most part.
31 minutes possession time. I was just watching that one of those rushing touchdowns from Bachmeier. The way that the offensive line just follows the play,
right? I mean,
continues to move the pile. It was a quarterback draw from like the 20-yard line.
Right.
It makes a couple guys miss, lowers the shoulder into the safeties, and out of nowhere, here comes 3 offensive linemen to push him into the end zone.
Right, they're getting to the second level. All right, they're creating lanes, and then it's like, oh, their guy generates contact, but he's still driving. They're getting downfield, and they're moving him down the field too. Like it was just a clinic. I mean, if you love good smash mouth football, BYU is the team to watch. I mean, they're just clinical, running it down your throats. And I mean, I think this will work for them fine in Big 12 play. If they're the team though that does come out of the Big 12 for that first round bye, or even if they do sneak into the college football playoff, I just wonder how sustainable this might be against some of these elite defensive fronts that we've been seeing in the ACC and SEC, the Big Ten. Like they haven't really dealt with like a Texas Tech's front either, which I think is one of the better ones up there. Iowa State's is definitely up there too. So I mean, does BYU play either of those teams? I think they got at least Iowa State. That would be the big test. That's where I'm like, if BYU can kind of do this against them, I feel confident about their ability to do it against other people as well.
Let's check this here. ESPN's gonna load up the rest of BYU's schedule for me here.
Oh, actually, they got Iowa State and Texas Tech next.
Oh my!
Both on the road. Oh, so they're 7-0 right now atop the Big 12. We'll see if that holds up. Iowa State's kind of sliding a bit. They're reeling, so they might be able to get them there. Yeah, man. This is they're not. It'll be a tough stretch for them. TCU's not bad. They got them, and then it's Cincinnati. So, I mean, it's 3 out of those 4 games in this upcoming stretch are going to be really tough, and it's like the TCU's the only home game in that stretch, man. All right, this will be. It was a lot of fun watching BYU in this Holy War, but I mean, this is really how do they come out of this? I think is what we're going to know.
This is the final stretch.
Their idea, like what this team's really made of, and if they've got a shot in the college football playoff. Because again, Bachmeier, I mean, guy's got a ton of grit, a great competitor, just a real below average passer. It's like Dan Pierre was by far the better quarterback, even with the interception. And I would say he was just about as efficient running the ball as Bachmeier was in this one.
And that's like mainly just because Utah just passes it a little bit more.
Right. Utah wants to throw it a bit more. It's like both quarterbacks, like these were the top 2 running quarterbacks in the Big 12. It was also like the top 2 rushing defenses in the Big 12. And it was just like something had to give. And it kind of gave on like both sides late. Again, like I cannot stress enough how this game was just like 10-7 for the longest time. And then these teams just exploded in the fourth quarter. It was a lot of fun. One of the biggest holy wars in recent memory. I expected BYU to win, but Utah really gave them a good run for their money. All right. The final game I think we have to cover is this big upset by the Sun Devils taking down Texas Tech, unbeaten no more. Backup
Oil
quarterback in for the Red Raiders. I'll say that. Took them a while to get anything going. Like I said, they were down 19 to 7 late in the fourth quarter. Then they scored 15 unanswered, just for Arizona State to drive down and get a last second touchdown drive there. But yeah, man, when A-State's got Sam Levitt in there, I mean, this team is as good as anybody. And dude, Jordan Tyson, he's probably going to be like a top 15 draft pick, man. He's sick out there. He just does it all over the field. Like he's dangerous with catching those screens. He's got big, strong hands. He can go up and use a little power. It's the speed. I mean, he's a very complete wide receiver, and they went to him a lot
10
on that final drive.
Yeah, even Jaron Hamilton getting 2 receivers in this game above 100 yards receiving. Mateer got 66 receiving as well. Man, they kind of held Texas Tech. Only 100 rushing yards on 27 carries. They had to work for it, and it was mainly Will Hammond.
Right. Well, like Hammond's a run first type of quarterback. That's that's his archetype. And so Arizona State really was committed to not letting them get any explosives in the run. I mean, we saw Cameron Dickey just like last week absolutely go off. Well, I don't. It was like 200 yards, right? Like 208 or something against Kansas, or not Kansas. Whoever they got that big win over. Yeah, this was their first loss of the season. I mean, every other win so far for the Red Raiders has been coming by double-digit points. It was Kansas last week, actually. I stand corrected. And so, yeah, it's going to be such chaos here.
Yeah,
in the Big 12, man, because you're like, like just when you think you know who the best team is in this conference, something happens, and this will be a different team when Morton's back for sure. But I mean, there's a good game plan by Arizona State. I mean, really force Hammond to beat you with his arm. And he was doing that a little bit for you late, but they gave you way too much time to go down there and get a final score. And this linebacker that Arizona State's got, Keyshawn Elliott, he was all over the field in this one. 10 total tackles. Him and Miles Rouser too. They're just a big part. Like their ability to diagnose plays and get downhill and get to the point of attack was big in this one as well.
And their DBs, Montana Warren had 2 deflections. Adrian Wilson got 3, and Keith Abney got 2. And Javon Robinson got himself 1 too. So I mean, they were all over, just batting down Will Hammond's throws. They did not only 167 receiving yards, man.
And I would say a little luck in this one too, because they had 3 fumbles that they all were able to recover too. Like the ball just was not bouncing Texas way.
The oil money didn't get the win this week.
They weren't able to pull it off. So, right, Sun Devils, they're storming back into the Big Ten picture here. I mean, the key is just that Levitt's got to stay healthy because they don't have a backup quarterback. That's the big issue with them. Besides that, like this is a really good team. Kenny Dillingham's got great coach, and yeah, they're capable. I mean, I would feel real good about this team with Sam Levitt healthy going into the college football playoff and being able to make some noise again. All right. Is there any other game that
top 25?
So, yeah, I think I'm going with that. Unless there's any other games that you or the viewers are just dying for us to take a look at. here. But those were the major matchups with I think our biggest takeaways here.
That was a lot of our bigger ones. Ohio State continuing to beat down on teams. You got a bounce back week for Oregon against Rutgers. So some Rutgers fans got to watch some explosive offense.
Just for the wrong team.
Just for the other team.
I checked in on that game at one point. Like it was like 42 to 3 before halftime. Mm-hmm. And I mean that stadium was empty. I mean people cleared out. They were
4 second quarter touchdowns for Oregon.
Yeah. I think they were at will call trying to get a refund on their tickets. I mean, come on. I understand blowouts
free.
Yeah.
That's got to be the cheapest ticket in college football.
I'm like,
right there.
I understand blowouts happen. I mean, come on, this game is over at halftime. You really expect me to stay for this? Like I would be mad if I paid money for that.
I need some free food.
Yeah,
something.
I do. I guess real quick would be worth mentioning the Georgia Tech Duke game.
They remain undefeated.
Kings dual threat ability, man. 325 scrimmage yards, 205 through the air, 120 on the ground, 1 touchdown. And yeah, it's just protecting the football and ball control. So Georgia playing good defense, but this offense just chewing up a lot of clock, doing some good ball control when they got it.
But scoring a lot of points with the more conservative play style. Keeping the other team's offense on the bench as long as possible. They run the ball a lot, but they're able to score like 45 points. I get it's against Temple, but 45 points for like running first team where you just want to control the clock. You ought to win games like 20-3 and have like 200 yards on the ground.
Also, I'm on the Duke side of things. This might be a little crazy to say, but Darian Mensah, don't be surprised in a few years if he's like the next Daniel Jones. And just by that, I mean, he's a Duke quarterback whose draft stock rises really high. I kind of feel like, I don't know, like he might transfer away from Duke. He might get like some other big power conference might lure him away. I could see him going somewhere else, but he's having a great season. 17 touchdowns and just 2 interceptions. He's got a 75.9 QBR, 2,211 yards passing. He's got a big arm. He's already almost, caught up to where he was last year in terms of passing yards and passing touchdowns. And he's thrown for 265 yards or more in every game he's played in this season.
Really good.
Yeah. So it was only a sophomore. He's probably got at least 1 more year, maybe 2, potentially 3. We've seen some guys that to abuse that extra year of eligibility.
That is true. We got some like 28, 29-year-olds guys still playing college football and college basketball. But let's check of the top 25. We got our game too high, too low, or just right.
All right, play along with us. Let us know if we're crazy or right. So we're going to start. I think I like the top 3. It's our 3 undefeated 7-0 teams, all with some big wins on their resume. I think obviously Ohio State has been super dominant. They're the defending national champs. Keeping them at number 1 makes a lot of sense to me. Indiana, again, a little more dominant in some of their big wins. Obviously, that Illinois win was huge, just 53-point victory there, 10-point victory on the road against Oregon. So for me, I think having them at number 2 is good. And then A&M, again, some big time wins against Notre Dame. And actually, not look at their schedule because Florida kind of fell off. Auburn's obviously not not having the best season. Neither is Mississippi State or Arkansas.
That's what I was
So,
about to say.
I was gonna say, like,
You could argue to give the nod for that 3 spot to go to Alabama, honestly.
I think it's just a little fair that like that was a big road victory against a highly ranked school. So, and they are undefeated. So give them the nod just at number 3. I think Bama at 4 is just perfect. I mean, if they were undefeated, I would say they should be the number 1 team right now, but they do have that one loss. But if they were somehow undefeated, I'd be saying, I mean, that Bama's number 1. But I like give respect to those teams that have managed to stay undefeated.
Yeah.
Georgia at 5. I'm good with that too, man. I mean,
I don't mind that. They're not bad. They've had one loss to Georgia, and other than that, they've been a pretty solid team.
If your only loss is to the 4th ranked team, and you've taken down, another ranked school on the road, then you just got the top 5 victory the week before. You beat the 5th team, you've got the resume to become the 5th team in the nation. So, yeah, I'm all for it. Perfect top 5 so far.
I like it.
Do we get controversial at the number 6 spot with Oregon? Maybe. And like, I'm an Oregon fan. I like Oregon. I've always been a big fan of Oregon. I root for them. That's why I like a guy like Bo Nix, Justin Herbert, those Oregon QBs I'm rooting for. I just don't 6-1. I just don't know if they got the resume, It's like that Penn State wins looking less and less and less impressive as the weeks go by. I mean, didn't they lost again this weekend, didn't they? Penn State?
Yeah, Penn State is now 3-4. I honestly could argue that you switch these 2 spaces here. Georgia Tech gets the nod against the 6th seed.
Right.
Oregon goes down. Just one. Just one.
Honestly, I would put out of it's tough because
Ole Miss.
It's because Ole Miss did lose. And then it's like their one win against LSU, that's their big ranked victory, is looking maybe a little less impressive, but I think it's still a bit more impressive than the Oregon Penn State win. So that's tough for me. But Oregon did win and Ole Miss did lose, so I could see I'm okay with Oregon moving up, maybe moving up 1 spot to 7, and then you have Georgia Tech at 6, and keep Ole Miss there at 8. And then
That's not bad. That's fair. That's fair.
And then Miami, that was a pretty bad home loss, so I can see dropping them down to 9. You can almost argue though that they could be at 8, but I think 9's all right.
That's not a bad spot.
It's just like Ole Miss was lost to a more high quality opponent, so I'm okay with that.
Chaos, man.
Yeah,
this team, they dropped 7 spaces on the top 25 just from one loss.
Like I like the Notre Dame victory. Some of their other wins are starting to not look as impressive. I mean, Florida State has dropped a number of games. I mean, they're 0-4 in conference play, so they started 3-0, lose 4 straight. So that win's not looking as impressive. South Florida, I mean, there was a blowout win. That's the best Power 5 team or Group of 5 team. But again, you're the Power 5 school. They're the Group of 5 school. Then like Florida has been pretty bad. They fired their head coach. So I think I'm starting to the resume for Miami is starting to not look as good, Do you make the argument that maybe Vanderbilt should be ahead of them?
I honestly, you could say
put Miami at 10, Vandy at 9.
It's not crazy to say that. Vanderbilt's only loss to the 4th ranked team in the country. They got 2 wins against teams that were in the top 25. I think Vanderbilt's got one of the tougher schedules in the SEC too.
And they did beat at the time number 11 ranked South Carolina in South Carolina.
Yeah.
And I mean
31-7.
Sellers did go down in that one, but that was still, besides their quarterback being a healthy team, And then like after that, I mean, the injury bug just overtook South Carolina and they kind of fell apart. But at the time, that was probably minus the quarterback going out, the strongest, that South Carolina was all year, and they beat them pretty handily. I would in this one, I'd put, I'd put Vandy at 9 and I'd put Miami at 10. And then BYU 7-0. Again, it's like undefeated, but that Utah victory is the best thing you got on your resume. I think beating Notre Dame is a little bit more impressive than that. So BYU at 11 makes sense. The Irish at 12. I mean, they only moved up one spot.
I think that's fair, though.
I guess it's, yeah. I mean, the two losses were nail biters to really good schools, to, top 5 schools that were both top 5 schools at one point.
I think it does kind of do Oklahoma dirty, though, because they're not a bad team.
Right. I like OU at 13. And then Texas Tech, yeah, that was dropping back to 14. I'm good with that there. Matter of fact, though, I think actually I might put them at 15, switch them with Missouri. Because Missouri's only loss is to Bama. And I mean they've played about the same schedule though. So I think Missouri's was just a little tougher, a little higher quality. They're probably interchangeable at 14, 15. Virginia at 16. I like that. Bump them up 2 spots. Maybe make the case that they're actually 14. But besides Florida State, nothing. I mean, not a super impressive resume. They did almost lose to Washington State. Did beat Louisville in Louisville. I think 16 is that's the right spot for this squad.
That's a good spot. Tennessee at 17. I think right here we could probably argue maybe South Florida or Louisville could jump them.
Right. I might have because I think slide them back to 19. Put Louisville at 17 because you'd be the top 5 team. Keep South Florida at 18, Tennessee at 19.
I think that's more fair. Louisville has way more higher quality win. I mean, they completely knocked a team out of the top 5.
Yeah. And then LSU here at 20.
I honestly,
I guess
too high.
Yeah, like it makes sense that they were like, you can't to not just kick them out of the top 25, but like I almost
feel like they should be.
I almost might have, yeah. I don't know, like their 2 losses, like they've just looked pretty overmatched. First against
wins,
Old Miss,
they have a good defense. Just even their wins haven't been that great. They've beaten some good teams, but they didn't really look all that great in those wins either. Like Cincinnati could probably be 20.
I was gonna say put Cincinnati at 20 since they're 6-1, and then you could have LSU be the lead off of our 5-2 teams. Like then LSU 21. Texas went down the spot because of their struggles, despite the win. I'm okay keeping them at 22. Illinois gets back into the top 25, same with Michigan, just by virtue of being off, and then Arizona State.
They could honestly be above LSU. They could honestly be the ones rounding out the 5-2 at the 21 because they just knocked a team out of the top 10, beating Texas Tech. They dropped them down 7 spots.
That's true. So maybe keep flip-flop LSU and Cincinnati, and then put Arizona State where LSU would be after that switch with Cincinnati. LSU at 24. Then you got Texas 22. 23 is
Illinois.
and 25 is Michigan. I could be all right with that. I mean, I'm not like super jazzed about them just throwing in Illinois and Michigan back into the top 25 just because they're off of a bye week.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking at some other teams that you might be able to throw back in there. Why not Northwestern? They've got some good wins.
Right? They're actually putting themselves together a season, throw them in there. Give them a nod.
They are 5-2. Maybe not the craziest resume. They did lose to Tulane, but it's like, all right,
Tulane's not even ranked.
could throw Tulane in there. They're 6-1. Navy's undefeated. You could have stuck them in there at 25.
Yeah. With the Memphis loss, that kind of gives them a little bit of leverage for ranking too. Honestly.
Yeah. Rip my UNLV proposal. I was gonna say if I thought they lost to Boise, and I was gonna be like, man, if the Rebels were 7-0, I'd be screaming for them to be in there. But they lost, so keep them out. I suppose. Yeah, man. I guess it kind of makes sense to put Illinois back in there and Michigan. Could have maybe given a nod or a shout out to a team that's been a group of 5 team that's been having a pretty impressive season, though. This is kind of a shocking one, kid, man. Guess what Hawaii's record is?
What is Hawaii's record?
Hawaii is 6-2.
What the?
Yeah, man, the Rainbow Warriors. What the heck?
One of their losses was Arizona in week 0 of the season. So they've actually
week 2 or week 1. It looks like they lost. Yeah, they lost pretty badly to Arizona, and then they also lost by 2 to Fresno. But they beaten Air Force, Colorado State, Utah State, Portland State, Sam Houston, and Stanford. They are 3rd place in the Mountain West here. Look at this. Let me pull up some team statistics here.
There we go.
What the heck? The Rainbow Warriors? Where do these guys come from? Yeah, QB Makai Alhado, man, having himself a solid little season. He's got 1,700 passing yards, 12 touchdowns. Does have 6 interceptions. Let's see. They got two. They got a good 1-2 combo. Looks like a wide receiver, Pofele Ashlock and Jackson Harris. Ashlock with 494. Harris got 467 receiving. 6 touchdowns for Ashlock, 5 for Harris. They're pretty much all the passing touchdowns.
Okay.
For him here.
All right.
Yeah, that's all right.
All right.
Okay, I'm gonna keep an eye on you, Hawaii. Okay. Fun little squad the Rainbow Warriors got here.
Maybe we go ahead and put our bets in right now. Rainbow Warriors win the Mountain West. Who knows? Who knows?
I know UNLV lost, but I kind of feel like it's going to be UNLV and San Diego State. The Aztecs are pretty good this year.
They're having a nice season.
Yeah, I mean it's fun with Hawaii, but I do think you're like San Diego State's gonna. I think San Diego State's probably gonna win it. They're gonna be with one of the teams, and it's just gonna kind of come down between UNLV and Boise. But Boise's got that head-to-head advantage. That's where my predictions with the Mountain West lie.
That should be a fun conference as well. But we're seeing carnage and chaos all across the college football world this season.
Glorious carnage and chaos.
It is a really fun time. But I mean, before we go on break and move on, what are some of these matchups next week you're looking at? Obviously, we got a trap game, UCLA, Indiana. Yeah. But I think Mendoza is probably going to handle them. We got Ole Miss, Oklahoma.
That's going to be a big one. Georgia Tech, they should be able to move to 8-0. They've got Syracuse at home. Yeah, Ole Miss, Oklahoma. This will be, I think the team that loses this is just going to have to give up on a shot at the SEC championship. I think like
It's going to be hard to catch up.
there's going to be a number of teams that are looking at only one loss. Well, I mean, we'll see. It's hard to predict anything this season. It's been absolutely crazy. Oklahoma hosting it here. 4.5-point favorites. That spread feels a little big. I think
It's a little generous towards Oklahoma.
Yeah. It'll be real interesting to see how healthy Mateer's hand is and how much they let him throw it. That's going to be a good one. So definitely circle that one. Virginia should handle a pretty bad North Carolina football team. Well, this would have been a cool top 25 matchup, but then Memphis had to go and lose to UAB. But they're playing South Florida. So, I mean, that'll still be some major implications for the American and who wins it and ultimately who might be that group of 5 teams. So I would still circle that one. That's going to be a big one. Banged up South Carolina's got to take on Bama. That Bama should win that one. Missouri Vanderbilt here.
It's a good one. What's Missouri going to do? They're going to try to climb themselves into the top 10 with the win here.
I don't know. I'm kind of leaning more towards Vandy here. Pribla's been
he's got to protect the ball. 7 interceptions.
Yeah. And I feel like he's just getting, as the competition gets better, his ball security gets worse. So that's making me a little nervous with him. And yeah, the offense is it's been real inconsistent and streaky. They'll have some real good moments in games, but I think Vanderbilt's just been the more consistent team. BYU, Iowa State. Yeah, this will be interesting. I mean, BYU's, like we said, they love to run the football. But I wonder, like, can they attack those corners of Iowa State a bit? You know, they've had some troubles here in the past weeks, and you've got Chase Roberts, who is kind of just being wasted on that team. He's a really good receiver. He would be putting up some bigger numbers in the more pass-centric offense, I think, for sure. And then Rocco Becht. I'm still pretty high on Rocco Becht. I think
he's not bad.
I like him as a quarterback. It's just been a couple. They kind of ran into a brick wall, and they've just had a real bad stretch.
He's done better than a lot of people would have thought with
losing
his receivers.
Your top 2 targets to the draft. Yeah. That's going to be an interesting one. Iowa State hosting there. So tough game for BYU. Potential for them to get their first loss there. Illinois going to Washington, also a trap game here. I mean,
sneaky one.
Weird, like having to go to the West Coast. And the Huskies, they got a solid football team there. They got some. They're nothing to turn your nose up at. Texas Tech should get a big bounce back here. Looks like Morton will probably be good to return. You got Oklahoma State got to go on is coming to their building, the John Jones AT&T Stadium. So they'll should get back on track in that one. Cincinnati's got Baylor coming to town. Baylor got one of the top offenses in the country. One of the top passing offenses, that is. Their quarterback.
21 touchdowns already.
What's his name? Sawyer Robinson. He he's leading the country in passing yards. He's got 21 TDs, so he's leading the country in passing yards, tied for first in passing touchdowns.
What year is he in, man? The heck?
He is I want to say junior. Maybe I don't think he's a senior just yet. Or maybe he's got another year of eligibility or something. Okay, no, he is a senior. I don't know why I thought he was a junior.
Okay. Watch out for him, man.
Yeah, his draft stock. And jumping up there. He's statting it. So that'll be an interesting one there for Cincinnati. I could see Texas going in the Mississippi State and losing if they play like they played against Kentucky. I'll just put that there, though. Texas is the hype around them's died for me. I don't even care about it anymore. Oregon hosting Wisconsin they should handle business there. 2-5 Wisconsin. Miami's got Stanford coming there. I mean, coming all the way across the country. Should be a good chance for Miami to get back on track. This is one of our biggest games of the evening. It's the LSU hosting Texas A&M. So, I mean, you got that home field advantage in Death Valley. A&M.
Only 2.5.
I mean, it's two really good defenses here. So it'll be really who's got the offense that can break through. But like A&M has shown a much more of an ability to put points up and score. Carver did get a little banged up in the Arkansas game, so it'll be interesting to see how his status for that game. But only 2.5-point favorites for A&M, so that's definitely a toss-up. Louisville is a 25.5-point favorite at home against Boston College. They should take care of business there. Michigan, they got 2 touchdowns on the spread here against Michigan State, but in-state rivalry game on the road, true freshman QB. I'm just gonna say some crazy things have happened.
Yeah,
Michigan should win that game, but don't chalk up that victory for them just yet. Tennessee, it's like Kroger Field, man, in Lexington, Kentucky. It's sometimes just does weird things to good teams. We'll see if that happens to Tennessee, but I'm predicting more so of a return to form, especially on the offense, and a big Tennessee victory in this one. Then to round out our top 25 matchups, Arizona State hosting a 6-1
That'll be a
Houston
pretty
team.
nice ending to the night. That ain't bad.
Yeah, this will be a duel. This will be a battle here.
It's another test for Arizona State's run defense against these mobile quarterbacks because this Weigman kid freaking ran all over CU. He ran all over Arizona. And I swear I was watching that game while I was at work on Saturday. They just called QB draw up the middle every single play for Weigman against Arizona. And he got 5-10 yards every single rush. This is going to be another test for Arizona State, but I think they might be ready to handle it. Levitt's going to be there. We'll see if Houston's defense is ready for this one for Tyson.
Yeah. But Sun Devils, potential upset alert for sure. All right. We've come to that time where we got to go ahead and head to our second music break. But when we come back, another chaotic and exciting weekend of NFL football that we're going to break down for you. Indianapolis Colts atop of the NFL. Like we're back in the Peyton Manning days. Stay tuned. You're listening to Till the Final Whistle here on Military Broadcast Radio.
About the way I'm feeling, 'cause I'm not sure I'm feeling
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
You are looking live at Till the Final Whistle, everybody. And it is about that time to hop straight into NFL Week 8. HG, kick off that rundown, because we had plenty of great games.
Oh, it's fire week in the football. All right, we start on Thursday night, the Icy Hot Bowl, the Battle of the Youngs. Joe Flacco, Aaron Rodgers, two 40-plus-year-old quarterbacks going off. One of the oldest combined ages in the quarterback duel, and it did not disappoint. They still got it. They proved the age is just a number.
Dementia Bowl, Icy Hot Bowl, whatever you want to call it.
Took me back watching Joe Flacco carve up the Steelers in prime time, but in the Bengals jersey. Crazy.
Yeah, it was like vintage Joe
crazy.
Flacco, but
completely vintage Aaron Rodgers, man.
That Hail Mary, we'll get more into
it.
They didn't complete the Hail Mary, but Aaron Rodgers, 40 years old, still throwing a 70-ish yard bomb.
But
that's crazy.
Joe Flacco was able to figure out a way to win that Jake Browning was, and that was just throw the ball at Jamar Chase 23 times.
It worked.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. 33-31. The Bengals get the win. And actually kind of keep themselves alive in that NFC North race. All right. London's home team, the Jacksonville Jaguars, were finally overseas to play, and it was a slaughter. No Puka Nacua, no problem. The Rams just cut up the Jags defense, 35-7 in the victory. But Travis Hunter did get his first career touchdown in the NFL, so there's something.
That was cool.
All right. The Chicago Bears, don't look now, but they've won 4 straight after a good homestand against the 1-win New Orleans Saints.
It's a nasty defensive line, dude.
Yeah. Caveman's he's gonna break it down for you.
Holy crap!
It's Chicago's defense, man, and DeAndre Swift kind of getting his act together. Got a solid team over there in Chicago. Don't look, they're 4-2 after a 26-14 victory. All right, dude, the 1-5 bowl, the battle of which coach is going to get fired first.
It's going to be
Mike McDaniel. The Browns offense didn't even really need to try that hard because they got the football like inside the 20. One time they got the football at the 2-yard line off of Tua turnovers. They really only had to put together like one actual scoring drive where they came away with a touchdown. Then there was a pick 6 as well. Yeah, it's time. I think it's time for a quarterback change, and Mike McDaniel's is about to go become a demon of an OC somewhere else when he gets fired. Browns 31-6 over the Dolphins.
Tua did get benched though.
He did get benched late. You go Ewers or Zach Wilson? We'll discuss. Stay tuned. All right. Not the greatest start to Cam Ward's rookie campaign, running into a great Patriots team who they're even ahead of where I thought they'd be. I thought this team would be good, but they are 5-2 ahead of atop the AFC East, second best record in the AFC. I mean, it's like a flashback to the early 2010s to the late 2000s, man. You got the Colts, the Patriots, the Broncos, all on top of the AFC, man. It's wild.
Classic.
31-10 or 31-13 victory for the Patriots. All right, man. I hate to say it, but oh boy, the Chiefs are looking back. And I'm not just talking about like they're finding a way to win sales from the past 2 years. I'm talking about the team that just put up stats in the late 2010s, early 2020s, man. Before that,
they dominated in this one.
Oh, dude, Las Vegas had, no hope in this one. 31-0. Kansas City is 4-3. They got a winning record again. All right, the Eagles on a 2-game skid, and they dug deep. went into the film room and figured out what they were doing wrong and how they could win. And that was throw the ball to Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. And what
Who would have thought?
Looks like it worked. 28 points and 326 passing yards later, the Eagles come away victorious on the road, Minnesota 28-22. This was an absolutely dreadful football game. And I think every Jets game from here on out needs to be like aired on Gooby Platinum, the subscription service that nobody's got. It should be illegal for the Jets to be on television. This was excruciating watch because like their defense
throw this one on the
is good. There's just not a channel obscure enough and to hide this. I mean, this should only be available and like this should only be like locally available in like in Thailand. Like that's how bad it is. So 13-6, the Panthers get the victory. I think the Jets might go 0-17. They might be the first team to do it.
Who knows? They benched Justin Fields and then he came back out and then they're not gonna win a game.
Dude, I don't see a light at the end of the tunnel for the Jets.
No, man.
It's suffering. They're 0-7, 13-6. Panthers win.
Shout out to your dad, man, being the most loyal fan.
Yeah. And shout out to my mom for making sure I was a Broncos fan, and for my dad for not pushing for me, not trying to get me to be a fan of his team. He's spared me from a lifetime of misery. It hasn't always been pretty with the Broncos. There's been some rough years, but this is bad. The Jets is just unlimited sadness. And it's kind of
name is curse.
Yeah, it's kind of like that with the Giants. You think, the Jacksonville, they're off to a good start. They're going to get a dominant win on the road in Denver. But I don't usually take too much, heathens to numbers and signs. I don't really. Although I'm not a big believer in that type of thing, but I mean, it's just kind of poetic. The day we're honoring Demaryius Thomas, who passes away at 33 years old, you score 33 points in the third quarter, and your first two touchdowns are you score 8 points on, so it's 8-8. This was like a comeback that felt like there was some sort of assist from beyond, some miracle from beyond. It was
in this one, man. There was it was a 97.7% chance to win for the Giants in the fourth quarter when the quarter started. Broncos won the game with statistically a 0.3% chance to win the game.
Yeah,
that is like an assist from beyond.
It really feels like that.
That's got to be something, man. That's some type of match.
Certainly up there, it's one of the greatest comebacks in NFL history, scoring most of those points with less than 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter too. It was great. We'll get into that more in depth later, dude. Yeah, the Indianapolis Colts might be going to the Super Bowl. This looks like the most complete team in the league. Jonathan Taylor is playing like the runaway offensive player of the year candidate. Daniel Jones is, even when he doesn't stat it, he's just deadly efficient, protects the football. And then this defense is big, just, coming up with stops, generating turnovers. And Indy right now, you look at offensive metrics, they are third in yards per game. They've got number 2 or number 3 passing offense.
My God.
They've also got a top 5 rushing offense. And they are averaging 33.1 points per game. They're the top scoring offense in the NFL They've scored 232 points this year, man.
Who would have thought? The Daniel Jones.
Not
play.
I.
No, this team was
right. So they're fifth in passing yards per game and or total passing yards and fifth in total rushing yards this season.
We were saying at the beginning of the year that the Colts were good at this point of the year. We're going to be just as bad as the Saints, and the records are swapped.
They are the best team in football. They got the best record. They've got the most efficient offense in the league, and
they should be undefeated. They should have beat the Rams 34-20.
I mean, Adonai Mitchell, he needs to be cut from the team. He sold. I mean, it's hard to pin it all on one guy, but I mean, he basically single-handedly sold that game for him. Oh, and also don't look now, but Indy, one of the top 10 scoring defenses in the league as well. So they'll put points up on you, and it won't be particularly close because they'll hold you to a limited amount of points. 38-24 in LA. They got their get back in SoFi Stadium. All right, the Commanders had a nice little one season run, being good. Now they got a tough schedule. The injuries are piling up. Back to being poverty, at least for this season. Jaden Daniels, we don't know how bad his injury is. Dallas just absolutely shreds him 44-22.
Tough game.
Then the Packers, man, I mean, Jacoby Brissett might be the quarterback in Arizona from now on. Packers got in the dogfight down in the desert with the Cardinals. Last second, our good last drive there by Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs punching in a touchdown with under a minute to go in that game. 27-23, Packers come out on top. And then Sunday Night Football, the most infuriating team in the NFL is the Atlanta Falcons. Because are you guys good, mid, bad? What is it?
They've always been the most inconsistent team.
They
always have the highest of highs and the lowest of lows.
I mean, the 49ers were pulling people out of the stands and throwing pads on them. And that they were shutting down this Atlanta offense. And then Christian McCaffrey, he said, yeah, Bijan, you're next up, but I'm still the best dual threat running back in the league. On his way to nearly just short of 200 scrimmage yards and 2 total touchdowns, 20-10. Niners get the W. Then we're finally done with these dumb doubleheaders on Monday Night Football. I'm not a big fan of them.
Get rid of them. I mean, last night was a little bit better. The games were a little better, right?
But they were spaced out enough to where you got to watch most of each one and not have to try to flip back and forth between them. Big bounce back win at home for the Lions. That defense really stepped up after getting shredded last week. Lockdown and a healthier Bucks receiving core too. And then Jahmyr Gibbs just violated that Tampa run defense. 24-9, big win for the Lions. And man, the Seattle Seahawks, I'm looking right now, man, my dark horse pick. Well, could we be looking at a Seahawks Colts Super Bowl?
There's honestly a chance.
That they got a dominant defensive line. They got a ton of speed and rangy players in that secondary. I mean, that's Mike McDonald's got that defense playing so well. Sam Darnold's being a little turnover-y with the football. That was their big thing in this one was all the turnovers. But JSN, look, Jamar Chase is still probably the best wide receiver in football. And I mean, Jettis is dealing with a pretty volatile quarterback situation right now. But JSN
and offensive line.
Yeah, JSN's he might be above Jefferson right now. He is absolutely insane. Another game with 8 or more receptions, over 100 yards, and a touchdown. He's a gift that just keeps on giving.
Could also be a guy walking his way to the offensive player of the year.
Sure, it's between him and JT right now.
Easily.
Because we know they won't win MVP.
Easily.
Unfortunately. But all right. Which you want to start with your Saints, Caveman?
Let's get into it, man, because this was a tough one. Because the Bears' defense is insane. Jaquan Brisker, all those guys just had a field day on Spencer Rattler. It was pretty ugly.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty ugly. A lot of turnovers in this one for the Bears, just
pretty
much caused by
this had to
them
be
getting
like
after him.
one of the Saints' worst games this season in terms of turnovers. Is it like up there? No, I think this was probably their worst game. Just in terms of like they've been pretty good at protecting the ball at least this season, but not in this one.
This one we had 5 turnovers. There hasn't been another game this year where we had more than one. And I really feel like the only reason we had so many turnovers is because of how much pressure was on Spencer Rattler the entire game. I mean, he got sacked while he was getting ready to throw the ball by Jaquan Brisker and was able to at least hold the ball above his head while he's getting sacked. You know, he tried his damnedest to protect the ball, to not get strip sacked every single play. Surprisingly enough, he got sacked only 4 times in this game, despite constant pressure, and still actually had a higher QB rating than Caleb Williams in this one.
Like Caleb didn't really play well in this one.
No.
The Bears just ran the ball exceptionally well.
No, and that's
Swift and Mongai were a great 2-headed monster right there.
That's the craziest thing about it, is because they would not find any way to stay in front of the sticks. Chicago had so many chances to win this game and make the score look like the Seattle game for the Saints. But the amount of times we turned the ball over in the second half and they only scored 6 points, the Saints were still in the game, even though we were turning the ball over. Like, the game wasn't even over, and we had 5 turnovers. Spencer Rattler was giving it away like charity. Well, let's go into Mohawk's book. Spencer Rattler is just a great guy. He wanted to give some way to charity this week. The Bears still weren't even capitalizing on it. They got carried by their defensive line here. Like, yeah. I can't even say the amount of throws that Spencer's been hitting this season. I can't even really say that any of these losses are on him. Even though he threw 3 picks in this one and was trying to play a little bit of hero ball late in the game, he still is leading the team exceptionally well.
He's been doing this all season with a non-existent run game.
The
Saints have no run game to speak of. It's
don't have
all
any
on
run
him
game.
on offense.
We have no run game. And the most depressing thing about it is Kellen Moore goes to speak to the media on Monday. Guess the first thing he says: Eric McCoy, bicep, done for the year. Kendre Miller, the backup guy, going crazy against the Bills. You guys remember him. ACL out for the year. He had 1 play, ran it for 7 yards. It was a heck of a run, and he tore his ACL on it.
Man.
And now he's done for the year. So, I mean, the only thing that's good about that is that we get to see a little bit more of Devin Neal, who has one of the highlights of the weekend. Check out this block right here on Jaquan Brisker. We're going to get to see more of the kid for the rest of the season now that Kendre Miller's gone. And he's already got a highlight on his book.
Devin Neal, 24, because he's looking to his right. He catches him at the last second, coming in, is able to step across and get that block. And really nice job in the trust of Spencer Rattler.
Wow, that was a great job getting over there.
Picking up Brisker on the outside. And that's why I like Rattler right there. He completely trusted a rookie running back that hardly ever gets any reps.
Great feel.
Yeah.
Just sliding up in the pocket and kept his eyes downfield.
Almost got his face mask ripped off. Another highlight of this game, I will give some show to Kelvin Banks, because pretty much every positive play for the Saints in this one was when our pass protection got something done. Like right here against the stunt, does a good job not engaging with that first guy and getting into his set, so the defensive line doesn't set the edge on us. He was a clean block on who would have been a free rusher on the 58-yard pass to Olave that set up our first touchdown in the second quarter. So we have one highlight, and it's mainly all young guys on this team. That's why I think a trade desperately needs to happen. We traded for Vele. We traded for Jalen Polk for some reason. And we haven't really utilized them that much at all. But I think a move needs to be made with this team. Because if you're a Saints fan right now, the season's over. You're looking at the future. Here's our future, HG. Check this out. We have 5 draft picks this year. What future do we have when we can't even get the future?
At least your salary cap's looking a little better.
I mean, I guess that must be the plan of the front office, is to just make some splashes in the free agency once we clear out our cap. But what in the world? Why are we trading for Devon Bailey? The guy has like 7 targets on the year, and we're week 9. We're week 8 coming up. Like, what's the point? Jalen Polk, we traded away picks for Jalen Polk, and he's not even going to put on pads in this season. He is on season-ending IR for a shoulder surgery.
Dang, that is...
what are we trading away our future value picks for Jalen Polk for?
That is unfortunate.
That's just crazy. But one other highlight. This got called an illegal forward pass, but this could have been the coolest play of all time. Check it out.
I remember that.
Could have been sick. Could have been sick.
I didn't think that was a forward pass. I thought that was like perfectly perpendicular, or like it didn't go forward at all. But
it looked like it was a straight line too. Yeah, but
yeah, I mean it's a judgment in those situations. All right, so I mean we talked a little bit about some guys on the trading block who came in. I mean, do you think like? I think like the big ones are the big 3, maybe 4 if you want to throw in the DeMario Davis, but Cam Jordan, just a good vet to send into like a type of what's what I'm looking for, just to become a depth rotational piece in the pass rush for another team, and then Kamara and Olave, just to try to secure some higher draft picks.
The craziest thing about it, Kamara, if he gets traded, he's going to retire. Chris Olave wants to be in New Orleans forever and is in his contract year and is not looking to negotiate a new extension until the end of the season. He had a great game in this one. He made up for his mistakes against the Patriots, but at the same time, you're the guy that's going to give us the most value. You are one of the most recent first round draft picks on our team that has the stats to prove it, besides your injury issues, getting some hospital balls. But I feel like it's probably going to be somebody on our defense that gets traded, because none of our guys seem like they want to be traded. It's like, at this point, we got to make a move. We got 5 draft picks, man.
Yeah.
And
It's like
our
maybe
young
don't want to
guys
get traded, but
our young guys are the only ones making plays. Quincy Riley, the rookie, gets an interception in this one. Gets his first career interception in this game. That Isaac Iadom is injured. Young dude's gonna step in, fill his role. We got Reed with a concussion. Jonas Sanker, the rookie, steps into his role. Has been going crazy for us at strong safety. No, it's like, why are we not trying to draft and develop at this point?
Yeah.
If our only bright spots have been the young guys, Rattler, freaking Miller, Neal, Kelvin Banks, Granderson, he's still pretty young, Kool-Aid, Sanker, Riley, Pete Werner. Like, if our young guys are the only ones making plays, and I don't care if you don't want to get traded, buddy, you're out of here. Thank you for your time.
Yeah. Well, just because I don't even think there's anything to really discuss about this 13-6 game. Besides the Jets, you might not win a game. 3 guys I can immediately see being on the trade block are Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall, obviously. But then, like, Will McDonald, solid. You could get some solid value for him as a pass rusher. Anybody else you think that might be on the chopping block for the Jets?
Brees Hall, obviously. Garrett Wilson. This team is selling high. I feel like dang near any of their skill position guys can be used in a trade.
Hall, you can get like up to probably a third round. I think like if you could like if you're gonna get a third round, you probably won't get much else, but you could probably get like either like a third and maybe like a seventh, or like a fourth, sixth, and the seventh, something like that, or like a fourth and the fifth.
But just to throw something out there, I could see another team in the AFC, like they kind of been needing some secondary help. The Baltimore Ravens may be going after Sauce Gardner.
It's true. I think Sauce is kind of washed though too. So
that just seems like a
he's
Baltimore Ravens signing.
He just has not been very good, but yeah. I don't know. Like the Ravens, I don't know what their plan is going to be. I think they want to see how they look when Lamar comes back.
Yeah.
On to the Unk Bowl though, because this is a fun one, man. So Aaron Rodgers 249, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks, and then Joe Flacco threw the ball 47 times, 342 yards and 3 touchdowns. Chase Brown had his best game on the ground, 11 carries for 108. But Jamar Chase was the story here. Got targeted 23 times, as we mentioned. Yeah, Joe Flacco was like, I'm not going to overthink this. I have Jamar Chase. I have T. Higgins. 33 targets for those two. And they caught for 23 reception or 22 receptions. And 2 touchdowns. I'm bad at math, but that's like over 300 receiving yards too, I think.
Yeah.
Or close to it. Over 200. Well, what's what?
That's at least over 250.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the math because I'm just can't do it in my head right now. But
Joseph and Fant had 100 combined, and they had the team totals 342.
257. That's what that is. Yeah. Now these guys
they're insane.
Lighting it up.
Just probably two of the most clean route runners in the league on the same exact team. And you just got a veteran guy that at least knows better than to try anything else. He's been in the league long enough.
How about the defense for the Bengals? Get a couple of takeaways for them. That was huge.
Something you didn't expect.
Yeah, the offense didn't turn the ball over. Jalen Warren, looks like Pittsburgh was glad to have him back. He had the $127 on the ground. Then Pat Freiermuth, man, he made some big time catches. I didn't know he had the wheels like that, man. When he took that thing 70 yards.
Yeah, he's pretty quick, man. 111, 2 touchdowns. It's the guy right there.
And then Rodgers, man, but was a little careless with the balls. But again, like that was also they didn't get any sacks, but some pressure affected that. And Al Golden just also, I think, was able to confuse Rodgers a little bit and make him throw somewhere he wouldn't have. But we got just a great back and forth game where both offenses were humming. You're Cincinnati, you're like, well, we kind of expected to be in matchups like this with Joe Burrow, but I guess what Joe Flacco will do. If you're Pittsburgh, it's like one of the most expensive defenses in the NFL. Jalen Ramsey was getting torched. So was Deshaun Elliott, Joey Porter, Darius Slay. I mean, it didn't matter who was covering Chase and Higgins, but especially Chase. And that pass rush only getting 2 sacks on it's a pretty bad Bengals offensive line, and it's not a very mobile Joe Flacco back there. Although he did take that read option. That was sick.
Same with on the other side. Man, I'm looking at this clip right here, this touchdown of Freiermuth, where Aaron Rodgers gets tackled by his offensive lineman, just gets up and shoves him out the way, trying to celebrate with his teammate on the sideline. That's so funny.
Yeah, no, he was real pissed.
Which
I mean,
is
he's like,
honestly,
I'm old, man. You're like 320 pounds. You can't be tackling me like that. I blew out an Achilles. Like you can't be tackling me like that.
that's some hilarious antics came along with this icy hot bowl.
That like comes down to you need a Hail Mary. Rodgers just rips the smelling salt, goes out and slings that thing.
Still 70 yards.
70 yards. Like
Still
what? Like
70 plus down the field.
That's like, like up there, like the top 15, just furthest air yard passes in NFL history, man. And I mean, they got there.
But that's sick.
Yeah, it got there, but the Bengals, good Hail Mary defense. I mean, it's Aaron Rodgers too, so you're just like, you never know, man. He's got a knack with these. But that was until the Broncos game, that was probably the best game of the weekend. That was very cinematic. Now, a game that wasn't super cinematic. We'll just pop in real quick to pay our respects to the London home team.
Matthew Stafford was disrespectful.
Yeah, dude, and it was like not even. He was like no yards too, bro. Like, he only had 182 yards. Wasn't like the Jags turned the football over a bunch. In fact, they didn't turn it over at all. They just killed themselves with penalties and were punting in bad spots. I mean, 119 penalty yards.
Oh,
this one on 13 penalties. So
how do you do that in your home stadium?
Yeah, a lot. No, the run game non-existent to speak of. I think Tila, was pretty inaccurate. 23 or 48, but he put up 296 and a touchdown. But Stafford 5 touchdowns in this one, 3 to Devontae Adams. Yeah, this was a complete domination by LA without their number 1 wide receiver. And likewise, the Browns. This was like the first time since week 9 of last year that they were able to score more than 16 points.
Yeah.
18 points, something like that. And
I'm pretty sure that was against the Saints.
I think it was actually against the Ravens where they like shocked them and like beat them. Like they like Winston just like went off and like threw for like 3 touchdowns. And they had like they won that game like 32 to like 27, something like that.
I do remember that game last year now. Shout out famous Jameis, man. I mean, they got it done. Gabriel was just
protected the football.
The game, gave it to Quinshawn, and he got it done for him.
I mean, when Tua's 100 yards and 3 interceptions. Yeah, dude, we got the stinky sound effect.
Oh yeah.
On his, I mean, oh my god, awful. Free Devon Achane. You think Jalen Waddle on the trading block potentially here? Mike McDaniel's likely to get fired. I mean, Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips could be Minka, could all get shipped. This Dolphins team is in complete disarray. And Quinshon Judkins, man, probably been the best rookie running back to start the season, man. He's been the most efficient. I believe so. 3 touchdown game for him, and it was just like, yeah, keep giving us the ball inside the 22. We'll take that all day.
Yeah, I mean, what do you got? Your running back had a pretty solid game for Miami. It's just they got Jalen Waddle, Darren Waller,
I know
Achane in the receiving game, and their leading receiver is going to be D. Eskridge. Yeah. Who even is that?
Nobody.
Who even is that guy?
Brian Flores is feeling very vindicated about his Tua take back in 2021. People gave him a lot of crap for that. They're
just paying dividends.
Yeah, he looks right.
Yeah, D. Eskridge has apparently been in the NFL since 2021. I refuse to believe that.
All right. I'll take your word for it, man.
I guess so.
Man, Patriots, another very dominant win on the road against the sputtering Titans team. I see the vision with Cam Ward, man. Like, he's going to be good. He just has no run game to speak of. He's like, I mean, dude, he's thrown to Van Jefferson, Gunnar Helm, Kamiri DK, like Io Manor.
He's going to be
the
really
corpse of Tyler Lockett. Just
I wish they were
that
able to
team,
get Alec Io Manor going a little more.
That team just needs a lot. That there's still a ways out. I mean, that you got the quarterback, like he's made some sick plays. You just need the rest of the team.
Yeah, I think they could be serviceable with Pollard and Spears too. They just got to get a line.
Yeah, the line's bad. Cam Ward's like one of the most pressured quarterbacks in the league. I think he's. Let me double check this, but I think he's probably the most sacked as well.
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt if he's the most pressured and the most sacked. He got 5 in this one.
Yeah.
I know the Broncos got after him like crazy.
And you would take a look at this Chiefs game. I mean, this thing was over by the fourth quarter. Like literally, they had benched Mahomes. They said, "You're done for the rest of the day. We're gonna." Let's see. Okay, here it is. Moment of truth. Yeah, Cam Ward's been sacked 30 times. That's 8 more than the next closest to, which is Justin Fields and Drake May.
No, Cam Ward has been sacked as many times as the Broncos' entire defense has total sacks.
So we're 6 weeks through the season? 7?
Yeah, 7 weeks in the
season. So that's like averaging almost 5 sacks a game. Yeah, you just can't. I mean, you can't do that to a rookie QB. That's no wonder you aren't winning. And the Raiders, Pete Carroll, man, this is shocking. Not that they lost at home to the Chiefs, but just how bad they've been. No Brock Bowers in this one. Mahomes, man, like that offense is the 5th best in the league. Kansas City's is.
I really like Brock Bowers, but I wish they would have been so much better if they just picked a quarterback. Don't you think? I don't really think so, but like in the future, don't you think the Raiders would be so much better if they maybe would have taken Jackson Dart or just anybody else? I thought they were going to pick Michael Penix.
Well, who did they take with their first? They took Genty.
Yeah, they took Genty. Like, I like Genty and I like Bowers, but I feel like they could have, the last 2 years, maybe should have been used on a quarterback. But they even had later picks later on. They could have gotten Jalen Milroe.
Although I think they took Bowers at 13, so there had been 6 QBs off the board at that point.
Like that year, they kind of got screwed out, but they still could have gotten Jalen Milroe.
I mean, I think getting Geno Smith was the right idea. You just did not expect him to just implode and be as bad as he has.
67 passing yards in this one.
Yeah.
He's like, you've seen those memes with the mega mind, like, I'll always be a villain. And he switches the watch to change the disguise. It's just Geno Smith changing his disguise to Gardner Minshew.
We're back to Jets, Geno Smith. Yeah, well, Chiefs were winning this one so badly. Chris Jones was drinking vodka on the sidelines.
I saw that crazy looking bottle of water. Yeah.
That was not the bottle of water. Come on.
Yeah, we'll say it is until the final whistle.
Yeah. I just can't imagine, like, just straight vodka out the bottle.
That's crazy, man.
It would look like it was hot out there. You've been running around, and I'm like.
And the bottle definitely sitting in the sun. A glass bottle, dude, that's warm.
It's like warm vodka. Ugh. Sounds gross, but all right.
Hopefully he gave a couple shots to Rashee Rice, though, because if anyone started him in fantasy this week, first week off suspension, getting 2 touchdowns and 10 targets in this one. I mean, just ready to go into the role, kind of be the wide receiver 1 for Mahomes, dude. That's scary. That's the scariest part, because when Patrick Mahomes is beatable, when He's got Juju at receiver. You know, with Rashee Rice coming back, they're getting fully healthy. This sucks.
That's a healthy looking Chiefs team.
This sucks.
They might be the healthiest team in the league. Yeah, it sucks. I hate it. Former Chiefs quarterback Carson Wentz, adding to the quarterback controversy in Minnesota because not a great game out of him. He had 313 yards, but he couldn't manage to get a touchdown. Threw 2 interceptions as well.
One of them, I don't know why he almost lost the fumble. He had Jalen Carter.
That was the difference
straight at his face
in the game too.
He got hit straight in the chest, and he's still like, "Hey, I'll just lay up this one to Jalix Hunt," even though he tried to hit Justin Jefferson on a slant, but he threw up a lob to the linebacker just lurking in the middle of the field.
You take away that pick 6, which are like, again, bad read, bad decision. You lose by 6 points, man. That's probably the difference there. Yeah. On the flip side, Jalen Hurts, we mentioned, figured out that, I should just throw the ball to Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown.
Got himself a perfect QBR.
Yeah, he was passer rating. Yeah,
Sorry.
he was 19 to 23 for 326 yards and 3 touchdowns. So Devontae Smith, 9 catches for 183 yards and a touchdown. A.J. Brown, 4 catches for 121 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Fantasy
and then
owners rejoice.
The next leading receiver after those two was Dallas Goedert with 3 catches for 18 yards. So it was basically every pass was completed to one of those two.
Yep.
In this one. And dude, what is up? Like, I don't know why they can't run the ball though. Like,
It's getting bad. Their offensive line has regressed a lot.
Well, I think it's like, I mean, they can't run it because, again, like, Hurts isn't throwing out from under center a lot. He did it a little bit more in this game, and it looked all right. But again, it's just like
anytime
if he lines up under center, they just fully commit to the run.
It's like once they give you that look, you kind of already know what's going to happen.
All right, and I mean they're maybe like now that these guys have gone off a bit, defenses are going to be a little more hesitant to come into the box. So I think that might open it up for Saquon because he's been like contacted behind the line of scrimmage more than any running back in the league this year.
It's the complete opposite from last year. He was going 4 or 5 yards before he even got touched.
But despite the woeful running game, big game out of the Eagles passing game, big road win. They're 5-2 back on track. Already skipped over that dreadful Jets-Panthers game.
Yeah, we got it out the way.
Yeah. Well, real quickly dive into this. This was a blowout here by the Cowboys. Jaden Daniels gets injured. Probably their best game defensively.
Yeah, I'm surprised they were able to hold them. But
after they got gashed by Rico on the ground last week, good job by them. They still gave up 136 yards and 2 touchdowns, but it was really, committee backfield there. It was 6 different guys or 5 different guys.
They were only really able to defend once Jaden Daniels got hurt. Mariota wasn't able to get it done.
Yeah. And Washington had, nobody to throw to. No McLaurin, no Noah Brown, no Debo. That was like Robbie Chosen, man, and Jalen Lane, Chris Moore. Those are your receivers.
Is crazy.
Then on the flip side, CD Lamb back from injury, 5 catches for 110 yards and a touchdown. Javonte, I mentioned the K-Man at the top of the show. He is the second leading rusher in the NFL right now with 500 and
in 3 starts.
Oh, trust me, Kyle, we're getting to that Broncos game. I just want to wrap up our late window here. Dallas, top offense in the NFL, still humming along after 44-22 victory. The other top offense in the NFL, the Colts, built a big lead off of some fumbles and early stops, and they just kind of did what they wanted early against this Chargers defense. 17 points in the second half and 15 in the third quarter.
Chargers kind of looking like they might have made a comeback, but just fumbled it at the end, man.
Herbert,
Couldn't
he had
get
2
it.
interceptions, which were, definitely did not help and probably added to the deficit. But after he got it together, and I mean, he really
They can get down the field and score in like scary amount of time. It's actually
they could just
that's
figure out
actually
ways
scary.
to close games. I mean, they would be, they would be maybe undefeated still. This is Herbert's putting up some gaudy numbers. He had 420 and 3 touchdowns. So those picks just really hurt him. Kamani Vidal was not able to add the success that he had on the ground there. Danny Dimes, Indiana Jones, 288 and 2 touchdowns in this one. I mean, it's just like everybody's feasting, dude. Like Tyler Warren's getting one. Alec Pierce is catching deep shots. Michael Pittman gets one.
And it's
Jonathan
just a weekly
Taylor.
thing.
Amir
It is.
Abdullah had a big run in this one and a good kick return, dude. It's just like everyone's feasting, dude.
You get them all the touches they need. They got a great offensive scheme, man. They just like to give the ball to their playmakers and let them work in space. Tyler Warren is like the weekly touchdown prop bet.
Oh, you were at that game, Kyle? That's sick.
He was, yeah. Right at the end zone where the Broncos scored all their points.
You stayed till the end there.
That's what I've been wondering. I didn't know if he stayed until the end. Hopefully you did, Kyle.
Yeah.
Hopefully you did. But
Sounds
that
like-
kind of brings us to it now, HG, the final game of that afternoon window.
Well, there was also the Cardinals game, which
oh yeah, the Packers. The Packers, man.
They my man, of course I
There
stayed.
you go.
Yeah, I mean, again, like Green Bay really was like the offense, man. It's just took a while to get going, and
Getting
Cardinals
carried
hung
by
around in
Josh
this one.
Jacobs.
Yeah,
He's the lifeblood of their offense, dude.
2 touchdowns in this one, only 55 yards on the ground, but that final drive was where he really pulled out his best work. I think they only gave him the ball 13 times. Like I think like LaFleur needs to make him more. He wants to throw it too much on first down, and then you can't like it gets incomplete because like they're trying to go deep. And I think like against like these bad teams, like just start running the ball and just get established on the ground. Because we've seen with like what happens with this offense when you do that. But like instead you were in a dogfight with the Cardinals all game. Best Trey McBride went off, had 10 catches, 74 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Micah Parsons, he had a big game, 3 sacks in this one. Was a massive part of the massive reason they were able to stay in it. But Jacoby Brissett, better quarterback in this one, 279, 2 touchdowns. And I think, Arizona's probably got a better chance of winning if he's back there.
They have a way better chance.
The offense is more on time with him in there, so
it feels like it's never on schedule with Kyler Murray.
Right.
Like they're never on the same page.
This was one that the Packers probably should have won handily, but we saw on that final drive. I mean, they were the better, more dominant, physical team, and they got the victory. But that's now, Caveman. We got
the most legendary comeback of the season so far, and we saw what the heck Herbert did last week with McConkey.
Yeah,
take the freaking floor, man. Here we go.
So, it was nothing but misery as a Broncos fan for 3 straight quarters. And you were like, this is the performance we're putting up on the Super Bowl 50 ring day and the DT enshrinement. Like, oh my goodness.
It was looking rough.
Yeah, it was. The defense they were doing a pretty good job of limiting the Giants for the most part, but they would put together one, a solid drive like per quarter, basically, and that lead just kept growing and growing. And thankfully that this kicker of theirs just kept missing PATs. That was
let me find out his name real quick for us.
Jude McAdamney. He was 2 of 4 on extra points.
What a name.
Yeah. They had a couple. It was just like some explosives, like a busted coverage, and then, just a run to the weak side that we didn't rotate their defense for properly. Was resulted in 2 touchdowns. So, I mean, that miscommunication on defense hurt us. And then they had a really good drive that was capped off with the Scadaboo touchdown. And then a switch just flipped in Bo Nix because like the offense, it was dreadfully painful to watch. We had balls getting batted down all the time. We couldn't run. I mean, all of our screens were getting blown up. And it was like the legs of Steve Young and the arm of Tom Brady like possessed Bo Nix in the fourth quarter.
Dude, it was just perfect timing also, man. Their defensive line played immaculate until their offense got too conservative. And the Giants defense just happened to be on the field way too long in that fourth quarter, man. They got tired. But Bo Nix was really smart in the pocket. They only took 2 sacks in this one, despite like you got Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns coming at you.
Especially it's like we're under a third string left guard trying to block Dexter Lawrence.
Yep.
And then we lost Mike McGlinchey.
Yeah, McGlinchey goes down
late
too.
In this one. And despite that, good protection there in the fourth quarter. This defense, though, I mean, like really shout out to them for keeping us in it. They picked up 4 more sacks in this one in some big moments. And they got that takeaway that really made it all possible. You know, that it's 26-14. Giants get the ball back, and then they go to throw it with Jackson Dart on 3rd down. And I got like this is all Vance Joseph, right? With like he has Sherrod coming in off the like from where Dart's looking, he's on his right hand side coming in through the A gap, right? You think he might be blitzing there. It's a crowded look at the line of scrimmage, and the way he has like Sherrod instead dropping the coverage onto the left side of the field, and I think like it was just a great disguised look, a good zone blitz that confused the young quarterback. Called it at the perfect time when we needed it the most, because when Dart threw that ball first, like then the pass rush was great. I mean, they got home pretty quickly. Dart uses his athleticism and his legs to kind of get out of that, but then he didn't get his feet into it because he had somebody diving at it, and it was kind of like a jump pass. And I think he wasn't expecting Sherrod to be there, but he was, and he just easily undercut it, set us up on the short field where we got the touchdown. And then, I mean, after you turn the ball over like that, you're like, oh, you got to be conservative. But against that defense, like they'll take you playing conservative all day. It's a pretty quick 3 and out, and then Bo gets the ball back, drives down, and takes the lead. But then that final drive, I gotta just say, like for the Giants, rather, I mean, well, like refs, what were we doing? Like they wanted. It seemed like they wanted New York to win because
that was
that 4th and 19. The iffy, like real iffy on the spot of where Wan'Dale Robinson
4th and 19.
It was close, but like I'm like, you just gave it to him, and I'm like, that warrants a review at least.
The funny thing about that call is that earlier in the game they used the little chip in the ball to check like a really close spot on another Giants play, where they got the first down on that one as well.
Yeah,
but they went so deep into the review, they checked the chip. They went all the way to New York for it. But it's like that's he either got 17 yards on that or 19.
They called the softest roughing the passer on John Franklin Myers. I mean, it's like, dude, like Dart's running, scrambling, trying to look for somewhere to go, throws the ball, and like Myers is chasing after him at full speed. It's 4th and 19. The game is on the line on this play. And Dart lets go of the ball. And Myers, it was a step and a half, I guess. But like in that situation, in this moment, I mean, you kind of got to give him that extra half step of leeway, man. I mean, he just he was basically already lunging towards him before he released the ball.
Situation.
Like, right. And like again, he had his arms out. It was to push him down. Like he pushed him down, and they called that roughing the passer. So it would have been an automatic first down regardless. But then they gave him that spot. So plus the 15 without a review, which, I mean, yeah, it would have been a first down regardless with the bad call. But still got to, I mean, the field position off of if that was the correct spot or not would have been, I guess, negligible at that point. But it was just like, oh, man. Shouldn't have been a roughing, and we should have gotten a review there. And then the weird lamest roughing, or I mean pass interference on Riley Moss. I mean, like there's a little bit of hand fighting. Like both guys got their hands on each other, and like
he was trying to get back to look at the ball.
They're both turning to play the ball. It was a bit underthrown anyways, and it's like you're gonna call the flag on that and put them at the 1 yard line.
Yeah,
and then like
gave him goal to go.
I get Sean Payton getting flagged for being out on the field. But he was hot. Like, and I understand why. Like, dude, that like in a close game like this, and we're gonna call that. That's so ticky tacky, man.
Especially what this game was a lot of trash talk throughout the week before the game. It came in a lot of trash talk. This is a real physical game. The defenses were out there hitting. And it doesn't make sense that it was like the final possessions of the game
on the last drive. That's what I don't get, man.
Like they were playing hard the whole game. Nobody changed their intensity level except for the refs.
Like I felt like until that last drive, it was honestly pretty decently officiated. Like they were again calling way more penalties on the Broncos than they were on the Giants. We had 12 penalties for 127 yards. That's our biggest Achilles heel is the penalties. But Dart gets the rushing touchdown, and man, but we ended up starting our final drive with 33 seconds on the clock too. I forgot about that. That's just another crazy coincidences there.
And insane catch.
Dude, Marvin Mims was great because he had on the scoring drive to take the lead. He had a great back shoulder adjustment on 3rd and long too. Forget it was like 3rd and 14 or something, and he like he was covered, but Nix put it on perfectly on the back shoulder, and it was like that great last second I'm not getting the ball, I'm not getting the ball, I'm not getting the ball. Yes, I am, and spin
last
quarterback had no chance. So two massive catches from Marvin Mims on the final 2 drives. And then struggling to get Sutton involved all game. I'm like, man, when we needed somebody to just go up and win a 50-50 ball on the sideline, there's really nobody else.
Yeah.
I want to be throwing that football to than Cortland Sutton. He always delivers on these spectacular catches. And he did it there too. Got in and clocked it with 3 seconds left. And shout out Will Lutz, nerves of steel, drilled it, man. Drilled it to get that victory. Greatest comeback we've seen all season. It's up there all time, too, from what I've seen, because there's just no way.
Doing that with no timeouts, all the odds against you, just complete the improbable. That's insane. This was a game of the week right here. It is.
It's a game of the year candidate too.
Easily.
Well, 4th quarter of the year candidate. The rest of the game wasn't honestly too good until that 4th quarter.
Leads me to a question, HG. Do you think the Broncos can sustain if they get into a game where they are kind of blanked until the 4th quarter in December, January? Do you think they'll be able to pull off the improbable again, or put up this many points in the 4th quarter in those winter months? Because they're coming up. They're coming up quick.
I don't want to get into the habit of doing that, but we've had some great 4th quarters this year that just haven't. The Chargers and the Colts game just didn't go our way on the last second. But if this offense could just be a bit more consistent early in the game, because we kind of did the same thing last week against the Jets until we got that field goal drive going. And who was that? We against the Eagles, we were getting blanked again and came alive in the 4th quarter. Maybe it's just something we're going to be doing against NFC East teams. We'll see.
Yeah.
See if that trend continues with the Cowboys. But I don't feel, come December, January, that's not a habit you want to get into. But it's nice to see that you can do it. But I feel like if there's some more consistency, and I think it's like, I don't know, man. I think Sean Payton still shouldn't be calling plays. Like he
That's just never gonna happen, though.
Yeah. I don't know. Or just get I don't know, man. Like just try to like get Nick's call more designed runs for him. That's where I think that's his legs were the big difference on some of those drives too, man. Like get Nick's involved in the running game. If we can do that early, man, we'll be ripping it and putting up some points all year. So for the rest of the year.
There was one drive early. You guys did end up punting just because some penalties set you guys back, but second and short, third and short, you guys couldn't run it. You go get into a set where you only got 2 wide receivers out on the field, design run to the outside for Bo Nix, and he picks up the 4th and 2 like nothing. You know, when the running game with Dobbins and Harvey, or Bidet, whoever, he was more receiving in this one.
Yeah.
But
it's really Dobbins and Nix.
Go to Bo Nix, man.
Right.
Go to him. He's showing in some. He's been put in some moments where it's like, hey, man, show if you got that superstar talent.
Also, there were some moments where like we were like throwing like something quick in the flat, like it was kind of like designed to get the tight end out in space, and like we're running that with Nate Atkins out there. I'm like, Sean Payton, why is Evan Ingram not doing this play? Like,
that's the craziest thing.
We had like what was like a 3rd and 2, and like Atkins dropped it.
They hit him straight in the chest.
I'm like, dude, why would we ever, like, if that's a play you're going to go with, why would you put your 3rd string tight end out there to catch that ball? What? This is why you go out and get a guy like Evan Ingram, sure hands, athletic, big. So even if the defense comes up and hits him, like he's got a chance to get the first. He's fast. He can catch that ball and get upfield quickly.
Atkins wouldn't have even got hit. He wouldn't have even gotten hit right there. He would have caught the ball and ran for like 5 more yards before he even got contact. He was hearing ghosts or something.
Yeah.
Because the only people behind him was Broncos players blocking for him. There was no way he's getting tackled.
I guess Ingram has had some drops this year, but it's just been like
at the same time, he's hardly even getting utilized.
I think like some of those came from he just didn't expect the ball to become this way. I think he thinks like he's been less of just like a distraction and the guy out there doing cardio, more another part of the offense. Getting him involved too is big. Like he was like when he was catching it and like we were just getting him involved, that's when things started to move. So Nick's legs, Evan Ingram's hands, that's what we got to do. We have unfortunately reached the end of our show. We still had Sunday night and Monday night to recap. So make sure you tune in tomorrow until the final whistle. We'll go ahead and recap our primetime games. Plus, the World Series is set. What a clutch comeback by the Blue Jays. Shohei Ohtani, historic closeout game to get the Dodgers back to the World Series. And we'll have NBA season tip-off. That's tonight. We'll have a recap of those 2 games for you tomorrow on top of Team Builder and our weekly pick'em. I'm HG. We got Caveman on the soundboard. Once again, thank you so much for watching Till the Final Whistle Football Frenzy right here on Military Broadcast Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us, giving our veterans a voice.